New year, new teams, new legacies. Welcome everyone to WOR Legacy Division. We are here tonight for the second half of the season. It is round 13 of the championship. We've taken the Brazilian Grand Prix from the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. My name is James Head, taking you through the stream as always on this fine Tuesday evening. Joining me in the commentary box, it's my northern friend. It is Mr. Jota. Jota, how you doing?
Hiya, folks. Hiya there, James. Yeah, really nice to be back on this one as well. Happy New Year to every single one of you tuning in. Should be in for a blinder, Brazil. I did say in the interim, actually, just before we went live, that I think this is going to be one of those races where it could be a little bit of a precedent setter. Brazil is obviously a circuit of what can be high attrition for some teams. And, well, let's be candid, if BRT, championship leaders, continue to lose points as they did prior to the season break, we could see some new championship hopefuls as this part of the season progresses.
Yeah, you saw the graphic there for the race results. Rens Thomason, of course, taking the race win. Edda's beloved Dutch Grand Prix. Who else but the Dutchman taking the race win there, of course. Oscar second, Brando there in third. Rens Thomason's switched teams now, albeit I think it's the wrong choice, personally, even though we did pick up a P3 yesterday in PSGL under Team TF10. He's there in seventh, Team TF10 there in seventh though in the standings. BRT out on top though on 438 points. Team Chazoo are in second on 404. Interesting signing Gabor, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, as we go forward very soon in the stream. E-Tech there in third on 386, with CPI in fourth on 383. They have the return of Danny Van Ruiten here tonight as well. Top Team Motorsport in fifth on 272, with an interesting sign in Rayen, so keep a lookout for them very soon. TRT in sixth on 216, with Team TF10 in seventh on 202. FRT in 8th on 152. Novus Racing somehow still in 9th position on 76. Avisio there in 10th on 74. They've got Lolo added into their mix as well. And Grand Track 10 there in 11th on 43 points. They are hosting the lobby here tonight. Let's see some on-track action going on. And you can already tell, and I can already tell by flicking onto my capture card, it is clear as a bell. And hopefully that is coming across on the stream.
Clear as a bell at the moment that these drivers are also on intermediate tyres at the moment, so not expecting any quick laps coming in as the drivers try not to overheat the tread on the green-walled Pirelli Citiratos as he goes through then into Zhao. I'm keeping an eye out on BRT Silo at the moment. A big day ahead, I think, for BRT. They've been falling out of form a little bit despite being the championship leaders, and they'll be hoping that maybe, just maybe, they could turn their fortunes around. Agonize 109.8, beaten convincingly by Silo with a 109.3, but Phantom coming across the line for the boys in the Williams. Phantom with that 109.328. Mubarak just coming across the line, missing out ever so slightly by 19 thousandths of a second.
Yeah, and he is definitely the man to watch out for. He took pole position, of course, I think in WR Console Tier 1 before Christmas, of course, and took the race, didn't take the race when then it was a different driver, but Mubarak is very strong around here in qualifying. Let me know, by the way, if everything is good in terms of the stream, if everything is good, especially in terms of the audio levels. I've tried to put my mic a little bit up, and I've put the Elgato a little bit because it was coming through very quiet on my end. I can't hear it coming through my telly, so hopefully you guys could hear at least sound coming through on OBS. As Acid now on the run line goes 10. He there won 10.3. Thomas Hetto Elliott there going fourth as well for the RBs, but it's Phantom currently out on top, Mubarak in second, Salo in third. First 4 minutes of qualifying, do not take this at all, because it is everyone in a set of intermediate compounded tyres, everyone just getting to grips in terms of the track, in terms of how the tyres operate and everything within the track length and the tyre length as well. Phantom out on top though, Mubarak in second, Salo there in third. I'm immediately going to predict who's going to be on pole position, and it's the obvious choice. I think Mubarak will get pole.
Mubarak trying to show his sort of muscle out there as well for TTM as well. I think one of the predictions I've put out there as well is TTM will actually start picking up some good points this part of the season. Now, they've obviously fell well in form right at the start, collapsed as the season progressed, and I think this may be the little bit of a recovery period that hopefully TTM are going to be looking for. Rayen down at the back as well in 19th, obviously yet to set a lap time. He's on a soft tyre. First soft lap time coming in, by the way, is actually going to be from Lafitte, the Mercedes EVE team. Lafitte, James, you got to be honest here. Lafitte has been one of those drivers that has just shown that they've got the pace. He can really push that car to its limits and actually put EVE in good positions, but he's just been in unfortunate scenarios. I think Qatar being the biggest shout out was in a good place and then crashed out as a result. I think of a spin out from, funnily enough, TTM's Mubarak, he's about to get going on the soft lap time. I think you're right to call him as potential for pole though through Mubarak, but never ever discredit FRT, you know, because FRT have always been, a bit like EVE, have been a team that has suddenly found some serious pace towards the front.
Yeah, definitely. So Lafiti's definitely been unlucky. I will definitely back you up on that point for sure. Lafiti now running down the hill into the left-hander now. Turn number 4 to see the Delago. We'll see what his first sector split is. 17.3. Exactly where you want to be, really, on a first lap around here in Brazil. Now coming through the left-hander, turn number 5. Running up in towards Ferradura at turn number 6. And this is where 2009 happened. Truly, Block, Alonso all going into each other at the top of the end of the hill. Now coming through the right-hander, turn number 8. Now through the left-hander of turn number 9. Apparently the sound is out. I will fix that in just a moment. Hopefully, doesn't lag or anything like that. Oh, Lafiti gets caught on the grass just while we cut away. Thank God he's not going to rewind that back and look at that, because I was fixing the sound at the time that he spun, but he did get caught on the grass in the outside curb and he spun around.
Yeah, really, really unfortunate. Again, once again, it's just that slight overstretching the limits for Lafiti, and I'll see him not be sitting anywhere near the fastest lap times I would expect. Then as he comes across towards the start-finishing line right now, 109.3 to beat, 109.4 is what he gets on a set of soft tyres, which, again, a testament to that half spin-out. So nobody out at the moment on allowing fight for, pardon me, sorry, just saying that. ETA Agonize, no longer ETA, of course, FRT just about to get going through turn 1, all very, very early on the curbs. I thought he'd have just invalidated, but he's got away with it. Going now down the straight, heading towards turn number 4. We saw that infamous incident between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, and once again, another infamous incident involving someone going through turn 4, Agonize, losing the rear, and guess what? On the grass again.
Yeah, Danny Van Mouten's left the session as well. Hopefully we can get an invite out to him very shortly. Agonized, though, in 11th position. Another one getting caught out by the grass around here. So definitely not liking, really, what is going on out on track. The FRT man there. Lafiti's obviously on a lap as well. And I think Phantom is the other man to go out there. Not a ghost, because he's out on top currently. 108.328 is his current best. Williams now for EVE, coming out through the final, for FRT even. Goodness me, where's EVE? Where am I getting EVE from? Phantom on the run down in towards turn number 1. We'll see what the former CRE man can do in toward the left-hander now at turn number 1. Through the right-hander now turn number 2 at the centre S, and now through the left-hander of turn number 3. Plenty of people going on about a mosh pit there in the chat, potentially about how Leicester are fading pretty much in the Premier League. Joseph definitely not going to like that comment. 17.2 from Phantom in the first sector, and Phantom hoping not to prove Casper the Ghost right with him disappearing out.
Yeah, interesting going through turn number 15, actually. He took the wider line at the start of that lap. I wonder if he's going to continue on that front for the rest of his lap, as it's not typically the quickest way of doing it. He's going to keep hugging the curb ever so slightly, and as a result, not able to put the power down as early as he really could have done. Go through the right-hander then, and then chucking the car through the left-hander before Jun Chao. Sector 2 split coming up imminently here with a 50.8, not too bad, and then he'll head through now, Jun Chao, and he'll floor it all the way to the line. No mistakes to be known of the other soft tyre runners as it stands so far, but they're all on outlaps to be fair. But coming across then the start finishing line, DRS open for the Williams, and it will be an initial precedent setter, 106.837.
Yeah, we should see lap times improved around about 3.5 seconds potentially, I think, out on track. So it's definitely not proving that by Phantom going quicker ahead of his intermediate compound tire lap, of course, that he set. I think Lolo was the next to set up on a lap time down there in P20. Hasn't actually came out the pit lane, I don't think, just yet. So he is there down in P20 in the Mercedes team for EVE. I will get the teams right as we go forward. Lolo now coming through the left-hander, though, of turn number 4. Lolo was part of Team G-Force, if I'm not mistaken, and then he's recently joined after Team G-Force closed down in just before the new year. Lolo joined now EVE. Very, very good pickup, I think. He's been showing very, very good pace around in the likes of the EML Esports Cup. Now coming to the left-hand return right, now in toward the right-hand return number 9 as well. We'll see certainly what Lolo can do. Coming through this middle sector, now in towards Duckbill Corner, Pico de Pato at turn number 10. Now through Magulio at turn 11, then through Jun Sao at turn number 12. He's looked really, really good on this lap time, proving that in the middle sector. 50.9. Catches the curve though through Jun Sao. That's going to lose him 3/4 tenths of a second at least. Running up the hill through the speed of those boxes. Now running down the hill once again in towards turn 15, the final corner. On the run to the line, that Lolo will come. Definitely going to be an improvement, but it's a 107.2. He lost a good 3/10 of a second there. That could have easily been a 106.9.
an eye out on Tech at the moment as well, going through the second sector at the moment. Fastest in the first sector by only a couple of thousandths of a second versus Phantom at the moment. So Phantom showing he's definitely got the pace here, you'd have to say, then, as Andrea comes across the line, 107.092. TRT man in the Ferrari. Keep an eye out then on Tech. Here it is now. This is a critical one here for Tech. RBRT going to be the team, the championship leaders, going to be able to set the early precedent that this was just a little blip in form towards the end of that part of the season. Well, a couple of thousandths of a second between them and Phantom remains 106.826.
Yeah, good improvement there by the BRT man. Of course, we have got normal qualifying as per Legacy Division rules, so it is Q1, Q2, Q3. Take this with a pinch of salt because lap times will improve, drivers will improve as well. As soon as I've said that, Epic Rail goes quickest there for ET8. ET8, however, have been naughty boys already in 2025 because they were late in joining the session. Didn't even ask me for an invite, didn't even ask Jota for an invite, didn't even ask Luke for an invite, and they both got 5 place grid penalties from tonight. So Epic Rail, regardless of where he qualifies, he will lose 5 places because of that lateness joining the lobby. And again, it's really the driver's fault for not asking, not adding me, for example. I didn't have both of them on my friends list, and I didn't intend to add them, to be honest, because it's their job to add everyone else. Sino out on top, Epic Rail in second, Tech there in third. But the ex-NLR man, now part of ET8, another team, another driver that has changed teams recently. Very good signing, I've got to say, the Italian to ET8, but second position, 5 place grid penalty overhanging him. It's going to be an uphill task, potentially, for ET8 tonight.
Yeah, it's still a track you can overtake at, though, at Brazil, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that maybe should just be able to make the best of the sort of bad scenario here. Cameron Downs just coming across here, 50.8 in the second sector. He's looking very quick in the second sector versus his first, actually. He was down a 10th on Silo, so here comes, then, the man of the moment, the Big Cameron himself. Big Cam and Cameron's dad will be happy to hear that his son is on the second row with the 4th place at the moment. Of course, that kind of pace, though, is worthy of pole position because he is only, what's that, less than 200ths of a second from pole.
And his teammate's just gone 15th, and he's on the borderline right now because there was an improvement further up. I think it was Brando, I think, that improved just then. Coming through the left-hander turn number 3, Gabor. 15th position, though, for his teammate, the ex-TTM man? Goodness me. The ex-NVR man, now part of Team Chazoo, of course. He's there in 16th position, 107.161. I'd honestly think Gabor would be a lot quicker around this track. He has shown really good pace in races around here in the past, really good pace in qualifying around here in the past as well. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, because I don't have any notes on me, I believe he was part of the WOR Console Tier 1 Tell Decider a couple of seasons ago around here as well. So Gabor, there in 16th, 107.1. I thought he would have been a lot better up the field than what he is. Mubarak, by the way, is on a lap, but he's not improving. 3 tenths down for Mubarak. He's just invalidated as well, coming through turn number 8. So Mubarak either having a very high off fuel run, and he's going to go again in about a minute's time, or he's going to bail into the pit lane, come on, fresh out of soft compounded tyres, and then potentially get on pole position. But this is a risky strategy for TTM.
He never got going, actually, because he went into turn 1. He was still in none, so I'm wondering if he accidentally forgot to turn his ERS mode back on and he just abandoned the lap. As a result, we'll see the DRS is now active. He's still in none all the way down this straight and then into hot laps. He's left it very late to get his ERS going here, and I think he's recognised that that is going to be a latency issue for him if he can't get his brain in gear to turn his electrical energy back on. Here he comes then with the DRS enabled, Tech retiring from the session. He's happy with his lap time. I would be as well. DRS open as then it'll head into turn 4, 17.2 in the first sector for TTM's Mubarak. You said this is your man for pole position. His teammate currently at the front with a 6.7 rather. Will he be able to match him, I wonder? Going through the second sector, chuck the car all the way through turn 6 into turn 7, and look, on the limit here. I think TTM are certainly flexing their muscles already, and it's only Q1.
And Mubarak has got a very good setup on that car, and it's definitely proven now in towards Beacon Pato at turn number 10, now in towards Magulio at turn number 11. His middle sector split should be around at 50.9. 50.8 in the middle sector. Very, very quick indeed. He's actually down on what Cameron Dowds was doing, so he might actually go around 5th or 6th here right now in terms of his middle sector. Now through the left-hander, though, on the run toward the line. This long drag through the left-hander of 15, on the run towards the line. Goes Mubarak. Does he go around about Cameron Dowd? No, he goes even quicker. It's a TTM 1-2. Rayen, of course, a brand new signing to them. It's Mubarak out on top, Rayen there in second. Sardo there currently in third. Drivers, though, on the bubble right now. Lolo, who is just about to go again. In fact, actually, I don't think... Is he going to have time to come in the pit lane? I think he'll be okay. But he's leaving it very, very late indeed there in 16th. 107 flat from him. There is a gap between Brando and Lolo of about 600, 700 of a second currently. So that is a very thin margin to try and gain. Andrea, Gabor, Acid and Quartz are currently all out. Grand Track 10 losing both their drivers as it stands. But Gabor, currently out of the session as it stands, 18th position, needs a huge lap time for Team Jazoo.
Very good correction, actually, and well, not less a correction. Maybe a little bit of a gap in my knowledge, actually, from Luke in the chat. It says, actually, it might be wrong, but do you switch it late to avoid running 10%, below 10% on your flying lap? Actually, it's potentially as low as 5% on occasion, so leaving it late gives everyone that little bit of boost towards the end of this lap, as we are going to be seeing with plenty of these drivers getting themselves going as well. TF10 on the brink in 14th or 15th at the moment. I would expect, surely, Gabba, former Novus racing driver, to not be down in the bottom 5 at the end of this one. I think Brando is in trouble as it stands so far, but one thing that I'm going to be keeping a firm eye out on, and I know this is going to be perhaps going to be a little bit of a weird call here, is Acid, GT10, man. I think this is the first time that we're seeing Acid back in WOR Legacy since that infamous race that he had in Imola, so this will be fun.
It will be fun indeed. I was watching on board with Urpec there, coming through the first sector, invalidated, coming out of turn number 4 there. So Urpec, unfortunately, now going to be putting himself to the wolves. Unless he's got time, which he does, and unless he's got the fuel, which I think he does as well, he is definitely going to be going again. Danny Van Ruiten, ex-PSGL PSF1 champion as well on an outlap, currently there in 10th position, joining CPI recently for mainly their PC side. Good to see him back on console. Probably got sick of the driving standards, let's just face it, on PC, and he's now returning to console, like what Cameron Dowds did, of course, on the last game. So Danny Van Ruiten following in the footsteps of the Flying Scotsman. It is Mubarak, though, out on top, Rayen in second, Saddle there in third. You will not be seeing them at all. You will certainly not be seeing Lolo. I thought time was a really, really thin margin. It was definitely proven that Lolo is out, so 16th position is all he can manage for EVE. EVE are confirmed to have one of their drivers out here in Q1 as the ball 200s down in the middle in the first sector, now coming through the middle sector. The Team Jazoo man is up against it here, now coming through the left-hander Magulio at turn 11, now through Juntao at turn number 12, Phantom retires from the session, big improvement in the middle sector, has a bit of a rear lock, it's very neat and tidy though coming through turn number 12 at Juntao, now running up the hill through the Sabida Lost Boxes at turn 14, running out through the left-hander at turn 15, Gabor is definitely going to be up against it, but I think he's done enough here. Gabor on the run to the line, doesn't! 107 flat, commentators can get it wrong.
Yeah, no, he's not comfortable out there at the moment. I was wondering where his rear end was stepping through the third sector, so that is a big call. Shazoo have lost one of their drivers again. The championship defenders, if you will, are down to one driver as a result. And you know what? CPI will be looking over their shoulders, especially going through into Q2, because they're not looking very quick either at the moment. Lafitte will be happy with 11th, but I think he's got the potential to get through into Q3. But here's a stat for you that you'll like. 99 thousandths of a second, less than a tenth, separating the top 9 of this qualifier.
Quartz all out of shape coming down at turn number 12. He wasn't going to improve on his laptop, I don't think, anyways. He would have probably improved in terms of his position. Danny Van Ruiten goes quickest, 106.6. Very good lap time from him. Everyone is done. Acid is down on lap time. Andrea invalidated. He is done on a lap time. Team Jazoo's Gabor, of course, already said a lap time. Quartz was down, invalidated, coming out of turn number 12. And then Lolo, of course, didn't have enough time to go out again. So they're not the 5 drivers out. But it's Danny Van Ruiten out on top. Mubarak in second, Rayen there in third. Expectations from Q1, I'll be honest and say the top 3 of exactly who I expected to be up there, to be honest.
Danny Van Ruiten, you know what, to be fair, oh my goodness me, that's the controller going absolutely mental. You know, it's that glitch, isn't it? I don't know if you have this on PlayStation, James, but, you know, if you're in spectator mode, all the vibration modules still kick off as the driver pulls into the pits. It's a bit bonkers. But, you know, 99 thousandths of a second separating the top 4. It was the top 8 before Danny Van Ruiten coming in to take the top step of this qualifying session.
Yeah, and the CPI man, ex-PSGL PSF1 champion. Yes, I'm going to use that line many times on this live stream. Danny Van Retten out on top. From the back in second, Rayen there in third, Paul there in fourth, 900ths of a second as you say, covering the top four. Saddle there in fifth, with Epic Vale there in sixth, Gian in seventh, and then Tech there down in eighth. BLT good showing there actually in Q1, fifth and eighth position respectively. Cameron Dowd's in the mix there in ninth, with Phantom in 10th. He didn't actually go for another lap time, so it'll be interesting to see what he does in Q2. Brando there in 11th, with Beat 12th, then Agonize, Urpek, Thomas Hetawali in the 15 through, Gabor, Lolo, Andrea, Acid and Quartz. That's 2 GT10. One for Team Chazoo, one for TRT, and one for EVE. There we are. Forgot which team it was there for a second, but there we are. We are going to go straight into Q2. Let me know in the comment section where you're tuning in from. Hope you've had a really good New Year, really good Christmas period as well. We are about to going now for We are about to get going even for Q2. If I could speak, that'd be marvellous. But we are now going to go out on track, and everyone should be on a used set of compound tyre to start off Q2.
Yeah, this is going to be the peculiar one now, isn't it? Now, where we see where people are going to sort of field themselves in this particular qualifying session. Some people may decide to go for the late run, some may decide to go for the early run. By the looks of things, everyone wants to go for the early run on this occasion here, as everyone dives out the pit lane. Fresh set of boots for some, maybe an old set of boots for most, as they come out of the pit lane. A very long pit lane around here, isn't it? As they'll enter onto the circuit, going into turn number 4.
I will correct myself by saying Danny Van Madsen is not a PSGL PSF1 champion, it's Luca Rapata, that is. So I got the wrong Dutchman. Quite clearly going on. This is why you prepare notes, ladies and gentlemen, and I haven't got any of them in front of me. So bear with us, but it is 2025 and I'm just trying to go off the cuff. The safety car is out on track. Goodness me! The safety car is out on track. Coming to the left-hand return number 9. Tech coming through there. The left-hand return, number 9. Through the right-hand return number 10. The safety car is out on track. Virtual Burt Marlander getting in early here.
Yeah, I mean, there's warming your tyres up and trying to get it, get the safety car ready, but that is peculiar. I've seen that happen a few times in the past, actually, where the safety car just randomly drives out of the circuit, but yeah, it's also the same for me as well, so I'm wondering if the drivers are also seeing that as well. How peculiar.
Very peculiar indeed. Tech, though, hopefully he's got the techers to get through the safety car on his full run. He's now coming through the left-hander of turn number 1. There is no safety car dot, as you see on the right-hand side, on the mini-map there on the right-hand side. You can't see the safety car actually out on there. So it is a visual glitch. It is a glitch, unfortunately, that Codemasters has not fixed and won't bother to fix because F1 25 will be coming out in May, that is for sure. So all of that goes into now the development of the new game, unfortunately, and then we're just sitting here and getting the safety car out on track in front of 106 people. So there we are. Tech now coming through the right-hand return of 8. This has looked a very shoddy opening to this lap, I've got to say, from Tech. Now through the left-hand return number 9. Into the right-hand return number 10. He doesn't seem happy. I'm not sure if it's because he might be on a used set of tyres, but he does not seem happy at all out there.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of drivers that aren't a bit comfortable out there at the moment. Cameron Dow's having a big lock-up, actually, going through turn 10, so he's not particularly comfortable. Turn 10, what am I on about? Sorry, turn 8, as he's then heading through turn 10 now. And yeah, again, maybe, I don't know, as the track got a little, as it devolved a little bit, I wonder. 7-0 doesn't suggest so for Tech. He's comfortable out there, as is Silo as well. The RT showing some real pace. Oh, 88 Agonize with a 6-8. Nice stuff, as they would keep an eye out on all the other drivers. I think we've got a driver coming in, Lafiti, who's going to come across the line. He goes P4 with a 6-9. And then Mubarak also going to be keeping an eye out on him as well, because he looked particularly comfortable. Paul going fastest for ET8, 106.816. Mubarak comes across the line. Only 9th fastest, 7-0.
Yeah, used set of compound tyres, that was definitely from Mubarak. In fact, I think everyone is on a set of used set. Phantom there, by the way, down in 13th position. Only had one run there in Q1, so definitely saving something up for later on in the session on a set of soft compound tyres. He will be very much up against it, though, for FRT. Down there in 13th at the minute. Cameron Dowd's currently out of the session as it stands. Danny Van Mouten and Brando have not even decided to grace their presence out on track at the minute. They're down in 14th and 15th position. But just back to that safety car point, you'll probably see it going through the session. I'll try and go on board with somebody that isn't near the safety car at any point within this qualifying session. But for a glitch that has been in, and I remember from Vietnam back in F1 2020, the safety car kept appearing out on then. It's exactly the same glitch as was in F1 2020, but Codemasters has not even bothered to fix it. We've got a new game coming out in, 4 months' time. We've got F1 Sim Racing Championship starting next week. Is a safety car going to come out for them? Probably not, but us working class and us people that work very hard to try and get pretty much everything, the show on the road, even on console, even on PC, I don't care what platform you're on, if you have a glitch like this, you've got to damn well fix it. And it's been, 5 years since F1 2020 was out? Come on, guys, it's basic level of coding, get it fixed.
You know, I think there's one thing that I spoke to a few people about, actually, when it comes to Cyberpunk, you know, the game from CD Projekt Red that received a lot of criticism for all of its glitches that occurred. What ended up happening later down the line is, by the looks of things, the CD Projekt Red have just accepted that the platform that they've generated, they created their own game engine, you know, the Red engine. They've decided that's just not the right path for this particular game. And obviously, as we know with The Witcher, they've gone down the path of Unreal Engine. So we would expect any future Cyberpunk games to be on Unreal Engine. So perhaps it's time just to swallow your pride and actually show a bit of humbleness to say that Ego Engine does not work anymore. We have grown out of it. It's time for something new and something fresh, please, Codemasters.
Yeah, and I think there was a statistic that I read in an article recently as well about the Unity engine. I think 70% of all new games are actually out there in terms of being run on a Unity engine.
Ooh.
Danny Van Houten has just stopped on my end out on track. That is not
and
good
he's
news.
Left. Yeah, that's very unusual. I've never seen that before either. So what's happened? Well, sorry, I have seen this before. Basically, his car is now going to be stuck on circuit, moving forward and then back and moving forward and back. And unfortunately for Danny Van Houten, if this is the same glitch that happened back in F1 2021, he's not getting back in that car, and that is his qualifying over.
This is just funny because I was literally banging on about a glitch that's in F1 2020, and now we've got a glitch that was in F1 2021. What next? A glitch in F1 2022? Who would have thought it?
I think I described it, James, as doing the Macarena, if I remember that correctly, from F1 2021. I think it was actually an FRT driver actually in a Williams.
And there goes the safety car going through Danny Van Houten as well. Perfect timing. Tech, anyways, back to the action. Tech is coming to the left-hander at turn number 3. Goodness me, you can tell it's 2025. Paul out on top. Agonize in second, Rayan there in third. Danny Van Houten has managed to rejoin the session. Whether or not he can take control of his car is a completely different matter. His car is ghosted, though, on board with Tech, coming to the right-hander at turn number 5. So that is going to be, to the left-hander even at turn number 5. That is definitely going to be a positive for the drivers out on track. He is ghosted, so doesn't need to have any sort of glitch. If he rejoins the session, though, and he can't take control of his car, what then? Because it's out of Luke's jurisdiction, really. It's not really out of the game's jurisdiction now. As Tech is about to go through the safety car, now coming to the left-hander at turn number 11, passing virtual Burt Marlander at about twice as speed as sound, 50.8 in the middle sector from Tech. Now coming to the left-hander at turn number 12, through the left-hander at turn number 13. Danny said in the chat he can't take control of his car, so that is unfortunate for him. He's left the session. He'll be qualifying there down in 15th position. Tech now on the run to the line for BRT. Should go quicker, doesn't in the end, goes third.
Yeah, no surprises about that one. Agonize going fastest, 106.752. Yeah, sorry, Danny. That is literally a bug that's been now with us for 4 years. And as I said, it was an FRT driver in a Williams that ended up doing the Macarena. I think I described it as at Silverstone when that glitch last occurred. And unfortunately for Danny, that is his qualifying over done with. Oh, Brando has just invalidated going through turn 2. It's the second time he's done that now. So he'll be looking to have another go at this one. Fresh tyres on for him as we see Danny's car still just doing all of the dance moves as well as Tech, 4th fastest, Paul, 3rd fastest, Guillen, though, in the Ferrari TRT, going 2nd fastest. They were looking over their shoulders in Q1. They'll be happy with a 6-7.
Choo-choo, here comes the Flying Scotsman to the top, 106.718. Very good lap time from Cameron Dowes. He said a 56.7 in that middle sector. So, sorry, a 50.7 even in that middle sector. If he was set to 56.7, he'd be on my sort of level around here. Cameron Dowes out on top. Agonize there in second. Guillen there in third. Guillen with a very good lap time there for Team TRT. It's definitely looking good. Paul's up in the middle sector and improving on Cameron Dowes' middle sector as well. So the German now going to try and prove this. That it's going to be now ball ballpark for ETA. Paul now on the run to the line, goes quicker, first 106.6 of the night. We've still got Mubarak to come up by the way as well. There is Danny Van Mouten's car, just for the clarification that he can't take control of his car. He can't because it's a visual glitch on our end. It's unfortunately a glitch within the game, as Jot has already alluded to. It's really unfortunate for the CPI man. They're down in 15th position. Leonard saying in the Discord that there could be a restart. If it was Q1, I'd agree with you. Because it's right in the middle of the session in Q2, a restart's probably not going to be possible. That's the thing, as Mubarak is flinging the car all the way through the middle sector. Now coming to the left-hander turn number 11, in towards turn number 12. Mubarak 50.8 in the middle sector, so he's going to be in the ballpark, but not close up to Paul, I don't think.
Yeah, if we're going to be committing to a restart, and there's Rayen going fastest as well for TTM, then not looking nice with the 106.55 of his own. Keep an eye on Lafiti, by the way, who's improving obviously slightly in the second sector as well. You know, if we are going down the path of restarting this lobby, my suspicion would be with the amount of time that we've got that we're just going to do a short qualifying session. But we'll see. Lafiti comes across the line 106.718, matching Cameron Dowds, but second to it means that he will be in 4th place. As a result of that one. Brando, by the way, 3-place grid penalty for Brando in this race as well. So he needs to get his skates on here with 5 minutes to go. Is he going to set at least a lap time competitive? He will not at the moment. He'll be starting P14 with that lap time of 106.880.
He's in the danger zone right now. Tech there currently 300s clear of him even, so Brando has got a little bit of gain. I think where he'll gain though was probably the first sector. He lost a lot of time in that first sector, maybe with a mistake coming through the right-hander of turn number 1 in towards turn number 2, so it'll be very interesting to see how things go on. Obviously, there are going to be discussions now regarding any potential restart because, as I say, it's very unfair for us even to commentate on Danny Van Mouten being out the session because he doesn't deserve it. He left once, managed to rejoin the session, was absolutely fine in Q1, and then he's rejoined the session again in Q2. Maybe that's got something to do with it. There's the whole glitch that you mentioned as well. It's just a poorly coded game. That's what I think we can all agree on from what has happened so far in Q2. There's a safety car, speaking of which, right on bang on cue, coming through the left-handed turn number 11, still on board with Brando. But Rayen out on top, Paul there in second, Cameron Dowds there currently in 3rd position. Same lap times, though, being set by 2 drivers, actually, so far. And that is Cameron Dowds on Lafiti 3rd and 4th, and Guillen and Mubarak 7th and 8th.
Yeah, I think one other thing I feel sorry for Danny about actually at the moment as well, James, is the fact that he's going to have approximately 76 student inquiries for impeding. So that's just a really unfortunate scenario for him at this point as well, actually. Now, and all jokes aside, it is not acceptable that we have got glitches from 5 and 4 years ago. Yeah, of course, the safety car one is purely aesthetic and it's kind of funny. But someone being kicked out of a lobby and then their car literally just, slingshotting would be the way to describe it, rubber banding, you know, in the same spot is just completely unacceptable at this point. And as I said, look at what CD Projekt Red did with Cyberpunk. They got humble. They appreciated that the engine was not built for purpose. They're switching it out, got rid of it. Maybe it's time Codemasters and EA Sports consider doing the same or potentially lose their license.
Yeah, and, well, I think for the majority of the community, maybe the latter rather than the former. But Phantom, however, trying to prove us wrong, gets put off by Danny Van Mouten's car. That's definitely impeding coming through turn number 4, if I've ever seen it from Danny Van Mouten's perspective. Phantom, though, got off foot. It's right on the apex, coming through the exit of the corner at turn number 4. There's the safety car once again. This is absolutely mad. It's the maddest Q2 session I've ever seen all year, and we're just on the first stream here on WOR Legacy Division this season, and indeed the second half of this season. It's Rayen out on top, with Paul in second, Cameron Dowds there in 3rd. Interesting that Cameron Dowds feels he has to go again, because Rayen and Paul, 1st and 2nd, 500-600 clear of him, really out on track, so Cameron Dowds has got to go again. They're in P3. Obviously feels, potentially, that something is going to happen within the session, and doesn't want to be off put by either Danny Van Mouten out on track or by that safety car, which he's just gone through coming out turn number 12. But Cameron Dowds, though, looks as if, is he going to go this lap? No, he's going to do what Mubarak did in Q1 and go non-hot lap and then go for it now.
Yeah, just keeping an eye out on the drivers to get themselves ready as well. Epic Fail just warming themselves up at Jun Chao before he gets going here as well. Silo on an invalid lap on this occasion, so no improvement for him. Lafitte will be happy in 4th alongside Cameron Dowds, but Cameron Dowds looking to improve. He's about to cross the first sector split. Will he improve? He will. 43 thousandths up in the first sector, just managing to get around the ghosted car of Danny Van Ruiten as he heads then through into the next set of corners through the complex. through at the top of the hill. It'll be very handy to keep this one as tight as he possibly can to the line, and he certainly will. He is chucking this car through that second sector at the moment, is Cameron Dowds. Keeping an eye out, and then as he heads through into turn number 10, chucking the car once again, locking up the front right tyre. Shouldn't lose too much time through there as he chucks the car then through 11, mounting the curb as then he'll come across the second sector split. Oh, he's 2 tenths up in the second sector. He's flying at the moment as he'll now use overtake and come across the line. Will he be going faster? I have a sneaky suspicion we're going to be seeing a new person at the front of this set of qualifying lap times. Here he then comes across the line right now, and the Flying Scotsman is flying high. 106.572.
Flying high for now. What else is people doing out on track? But Barrett could be in trouble here. Put him for pole position there in P9. He's invalidated his run, so Mubarak is going to be up against it now. Epic Vale's right behind him now on the run toward the line. He is improving, Epic Vale. Goes to second position. This could be Mubarak out of the session here. Tech, though, is invalidated. Brando is not going again. He's 600s down in the first sector. Urpek and Tomasetto Elliott are the two to watch out for. Tomasetto's just started his lap. Urpek now coming through the left-hand return number 11. We'll see what his middle sector split is. 6 thousandths up. Barely a minimal improvement, but Urpek has got to find a 10th.5 from somewhere to try and even get close to Mubarak's P10. Currently there, Mubarak on the danger zone, on the bubble line. He's got the same time as Guillen as well. Safety car gets in the way of Urpek through the final corner on the run to the line. Only manages 11th in the end. Brando is not improving. 600th down in that first sector split. Middle sector split, more like it. A 10th up for Brando. Currently, he's on course to try and outgun Mubarak for P10. Guillen could be in trouble as well. Could be a very close ending here to qualifying. Tomasetto Elliott is up in the first sector. His middle sector's about to come up very soon. The other Team TF10 Malo Brando on the run to line. Goes 11th. Does not dispose of Mubarak. Elliott, though, might. Now coming up the hill. Through the left-hand return number 13 into Beat of those boxes. Then through the left-hand at 14 and 15. This is going to be very, very close indeed. The Team TF10 man has got to try and get at least one car through. Elliott to the line. Doesn't even improve. He does improve his lap time. Doesn't even improve position. Mubarak is saved by the skin of his teeth there in P10. Same lap time as Guillen. And in the end, 23 hundredths of a second. Covering 10th and 11th. Cameron Dowds topping the session. Epic Vale in second. Rayen in third.
Danny Van Ruyten just managing to make the longest distance through turn 4 throughout this particular session. Unfortunately, been slingshot right back into the same position once again. Really unfortunate, actually. I think that's probably what threw CPI off their game, to be honest with you, because Urpek, though he's not been showing the most amount of pace out of the two of them, I think probably would have got through if it weren't for the fact that their team is just trying to debate at the moment with the politics of can we have a restart. I'm not sure, but anyway, Urpek is out, Brando out. Tomasetto Elliott actually managed to do a decent job in the second sector, but I think his first sector, and I think he put too much effort into using his energy in the first sector to recover the time that he'd lost, and as a result, he lost time in the third sector, and that's the reason why he's out and down in 14th. Remember, of course, Brando's got to serve that 3-place grid penalty, so Tomasetto Elliott will actually start ahead of Brando on the 7th row of the grid. But as you said, Mubarak just sneaking through. Both of the FRTs will be happy. They've got both of theirs through as well. But out of nowhere, once again, it is a completely different person at the top. Team Shazoo leading the way with Cameron Dowds.
It definitely is. Danny Van Ruyten's car's finally on the move. It's a very wide boy as well, coming through the left after the turn number 5 there. But at least his car is on the move, which is good. Anyways, out on track, Cameron Dowds out on top in Q2 from Epic Vale there in second on his ET8 debut here in WR Legacy Division. Rayen there in third with Paul there in fourth. Salo there in fifth. The PT6 Agonize there in seventh. Good qualifying from him along with Phantom. Both FLT drivers are through. Guillen there in ninth. Mubarak there in 10th. Both of them in the end by the skin of their teeth getting through. Brando there in 11th is out along with Urpek. Tech for Kicksab and more important for BRT is out there in 13th. Tomasetto Elliott in 14th. Danny Van Ruyten there in 15th. Reminder as well, each side have those 5-place grid penalties. Brando, as you mentioned there, has that 3-place grid penalty as well from an incident in the Netherlands. So that now puts him down into 14th. Elliott, of course, jumps ahead of him. Could be actually a blessing in disguise for Team TF10 because both cars are on the same grid slot, on the same grid row. That could be very good for them, especially if they want to work together to try and gain positions.
Yeah, where does Tech, though, in the end, though? At least on the 6th row of the grid after penalties now as well is the BRT man. So now he's got to try and work his way up and try and scrap up some points, actually. So this is going to be an interesting one for certain, because if I'm right in saying as well, actually, I've got the wrong graphic on my screen at the moment, because it suggests to me that Justin should have been racing with Silo, not Tech. But nonetheless, anyway, I think that's probably been a last-minute change. Either way, it's critical stuff now for Tech. He's now down the field. He shouldn't be where he is now on the 6th row of the grid. He's got to work his way up. All about Silo now and what he can do for the team looking to defend its championship lead at the moment, or is Team Shazoo going to close down the gap? Cameron Dowds is trying to put the pressure on after that Q2 performance.
Yeah, definitely. So, Crispy asking for the standings. I've just cut off the live action going on Ad on track to give you the standings. BRT Ad on top on 438 points. Team Shazoo in second on 404. E-Tate in third on 386. CPI only 3 points behind them in fourth on 383. Then a chasm of a gap to top tier Motorsport in fifth on 272. TRT in sixth on 216. Team TF10 in seventh on 202. FRT in eighth on 152. Novus in ninth on 76. They'll always remain on 76 unless they make a miracle comeback this year. Project Avisio there in 10th on 74. And then Grand Track 10 in 11th on 43 points. With that being said, the TTM boys are about to start us off out on track once again, so let's go to the on-track action. Mubarak running now down in towards turn number 1, has had an invalid lap time, obviously on his last run there in Q2. This has got to be game time for Mubarak. He set pole position by an absolute street in PSGL last season. He looks to try, not in PSGL, in WOR even last season. Mubarak definitely looks to try and prove that again. 17-1 in the first sector is quick.
Yeah, quick, but I think you set soft tyres potentially on Mubarak's car. We'll have to see, though, as he chucks the car through the right-hander, then heading up and down the hill. What? Up the hill. Going through then into the right-hander. Mubarak looking, obviously, to try and keep up with the performance, losing the rear ever so slightly. Well held, though. TTM looking to try and bounce back after a poor run of form. I did say keep an eye out on this part of the season. I think this is where they'll push and really push and put pressure on the likes of CPI, and what an opportunity for them as well. A glitch for Danny and for Urpek down the order. This is a good opportunity for TTM to really close up the standings towards CPI, potentially even the likes of ET8, but of course they are in the hunt as well. TTM then coming across the line. Mubarak first person set a lap time 106.7. Not a bad start on a youth set.
Oh, and Ray N goes quicker though, and I have a feeling that might be on a fresh set of soft companator. Cuts a lightning quick lap time, 106.557. Goes quicker, I believe, or very close to Cameron Dowds' lap time there in Q2. Very, very good lap time by the French Algerian. Top team Motorsport currently out on top. Taking photo to last longer, probably not last that way, to be honest, in terms of qualifying, but TTM are currently 1-2. Cameron Dowds on that lap right now. Guillen just starting up on his lap as well as Agonize. Sala was furthest on. Looking good through the first sector. The BRT man now coming to the left-hander of turn number 9, then in toward the right-hander of turn number 10. You're going, ooh.
Yeah, Phantom is flying at the moment as the FRT man. He was only half a tenth down in the first sector. He's gone faster than Mubarak by about a tenth here, so might be splitting the two TTMs here as he comes across the line right now, and he does exactly that, and he's only a smidge off of Rayen's time with a 106.563. I did say keep an eye on FRT as well, and TTM, and they're both in the hunt.
They are both in the hunt indeed. Sala now on the run toward the line as well for BRT. He goes even quicker, 106.522, and now TTM have got the back against the walls. It's Solo out on top. It's Rayen there in second. Phantom there in third. Agonize 50.9 in the middle sector. It's agony for him because he's going to be going even slower than Mubarak, I think, with this lap time. Agonize now on the run to the line. Does go slower in the end. 106.9, back 2/10 off the pace compared to him. Guillen is back into the pit lane, so he's not setting the run right now. Cameron Dowd, 17-2 in the first sector. Not lightning quick from the Flying Scotsman. The Flying Scotsman has got to try and go some to try and outdo Salo and Rayen in the early stages of Q3. As we now go on board with the Flying Scotsman coming up the hill in towards turn number 8 at Laranha. Now we're running down in towards turn number 9. Then through the right-hander again of Bika de Pato at turn number 10, which will be the next corner coming up out on track, where we saw, of course, a mistake happened from Lafiti in Q1 earlier on in the session. Cameron Dowd's now coming to the left-hander of 11, and then in towards Juntao at turn number 12. Middle sector split, 50.5. Cameron Dowd's on fire in the middle sector. Catches the curb, loses him a little bit of time. As he now runs up the hill in towards turn 14, now running down in towards turn 15. We'll see what Cameron Dowds can do. On the run now toward the line, the Flying Scotsman. Does he go quicker? Yes, he does. 106.501. Very good lap time being set there by the Flying Scotsman. Epic Vale there in 9th, Paul there in 10th. They're just on their runs for ET8. Agonize is not coming back into the pit lane. But Cameron Dowds electrifying. 200's clear aside, though. I don't think that's good enough for Paul, though.
No, I think there's going to be a 6-4 at least in this one. Might be a 6-3 if someone really wants to push here. Paul going with the 17-2 in the first sector of his own, matching Cameron Dowds in the first sector. Epic Fail 17-3, then went through turn 4, lost the front end of the car and decided, you know what, I'm abandoning this one. So he's now on a slow potential in-lap here, going through the right-hander of turn 5 then for ET8's Paul, looking to try and keep up the pace. Remember, ET8 in their little battle with CPI, and what opportunity it is for them to stretch out the gap between them and CPI. Only 3 points in the standings, and of course, only, I think it's a total of 18 points back from Team Shazoo. Through the left-hander, Purple in the second sector, apparently with a 50.6. Then he'll put the car pedal to the metal, ERS being burned all the way through to the line. ET8 Paul looking to try and put at least the likes of Rayen or Phantom under pressure. Comes across the line right now. He is slowly putting Phantom under pressure, but not by a lot. 106.6 dead.
Yeah, normally for Paul, he comes alive right at the end of a qualifying session. We saw that a couple of weeks ago in PSGL, so he's definitely going to be looking to try and prove that again. The feature there goes 6 as well, puts Mubarak further down there in 7th. Mubarak, however, is out of sync compared to everyone else out on track. 17.1 in the first sector is quicker than Cameron Dowd, but he catches the curve through turn number 4. Nicely done, though, coming through the left-hander of turn number 5, running up the hill and towards the right-hander of turn number 6. It's Cameron Dowd out on top from Solo in second. Rayen there currently in 3rd position. Buki Boy is getting very frisky there in the chat, I can see, as Mubarak now coming through the left-hander of turn number 9, running in toward the right-hander of turn number 10. We'll see what Mubarak can do. Bit of a slight, I'm mimicking the actions if you can see me, but you can't. Mubarak's literally just trying to correct himself midway through the corner there. 50.6 in the middle sector. That slight correction did cost him a little bit of time, I feel, there, but running up the hill and towards 13, 14, now all the way down, cascading down the hill and towards turn number 15. We'll see what Mubarak can do. On the run to the line, does he go quicker? No, but he puts himself in the mix.
Puts himself in the mix of people within the 106.5. So top 5 all separated. In fact, top 6 separated by, I guess, it's the magic number again, I think, isn't it? Let me just double check and make sure I'm actually getting this right. Yeah, 98 thousandths of a second separating. I think it's 99 thousandths of a second, actually. I'm not sure where 98 comes from, but either way, 99 thousandths of a second separating Pole from the top 6. So this is... It all gets a little bit of a mixed bag now. Epic Veil and Lafitte have definitely got more pace in them than that one. Agonized certainly as well. Guillen hasn't even set something on the board. So this is where it's all going to be at now. People recharge the batteries, get a fresh set of boots on, have another go at it as and when they can. One person, though, who just wants to get on with it is Rayen. He's blistering in the first sector. A little bit late, though, getting on the pedal, going through turn 4. So he'll lose a little bit of time there.
The thing that'll help him, though, he is on a low fuel run. You can see the red fuel light flashing on the telemetry, on the bottom, pretty much right in the middle of your screen. That red fuel light indicates he is very low on fuel, but he's got enough to finish the lap time. I haven't seen anybody do that so far here tonight. As Rayen now comes through the left-hander turn number, the right-hander turn number 10 gets caught very out wide there, actually, through 11. Now in towards turn number 12, 50.6. This lap time is gone. If I was him, I'd be bailing into the pit lane, coming back in, but it seems like he's going to go again. 60% of EOS to try and burn, coming out of Jun Sao, now running down the hill in towards turn 15. Rayen bails into the pit lane. If I was him, I would have done that, and he's done exactly the right thing there.
The TTM mechanics and the engineers have told him, dive in, you've lost the lap time when he went through turn 10, when the car just washed out wide. Missed the apex, and then unfortunately ended up seeing himself nearly actually onto the grass. He was fortunate not to lose the rear, actually. So there is more time available in Rayen's car. You'd expect at least a 10th or 2. Fresh set of boots. He'll have another go at it.
Definitely so. Just to reiterate as well, it's been pinned there in the chat. I've noticed as well. ET8 have got 2 5-place grid penalties, so no matter where they finish in the session, they have those 5-place grid penalties on the spot because of being late to the lobby. Unfortunate for them, they didn't even get an invite off anybody. Brando had a 3-second penalty as well for Team TF10 from the Netherlands. So Brando there already out of session there in Q2. Now going into Q3, all eyes, I'm sure, on ET8 there with those 5-place grid penalties. But Salo, 4 BRT, starting off on this final run, now coming down the hill and towards turn 1. I dare say BRT need this lap time from Silo.
They need it. Yeah, they need it. They need a big 1.5 from Silo because Obviously, they've lost Tech in Q2. They need to be at the front and start controlling the pace and allow Tech to potentially climb up the standings. But he's down 35,000 in the first sector, and he will invalidate as he spins himself out wide. Now, he's got enough time to recharge the battery and get another lap on the board, but that is potentially the precedent setter in this qualifying session. BRT are struggling, and they are a little bit nervous.
They are a little bit nervous. Tech, of course, out there in Q2 as well. Definitely not going to fill them up with a lot of confidence. Solo there in second has done a very, very good job, I've got to say, within this qualifying session. Cameron Dowd is not going, by the way, on this lap time. It looks like he's going to do the Mubarak tactic and go again later on in this session with probably about less than a minute to go. Agonizes Invalid coming out through turns 1, 2, and 3, so that is him done in terms of his lap time. Will get a go again. Gian has done exactly the same thing as well. So everyone, it seems like they're trying to do the Mubarak tactic around here. Go late as possible. Try and set a lap time on the board. Cameron Daz will be the first, I think, but Epic Vale is on a lap time right now. The former NLR man now running down the hill in towards the left-hand at turn number 3. Turn number 4 even. And he has backed off his lap time. So Epic Vale's not even going for a lap.
Tell you what, though, Gian set the purple's first sector before he invalidated at turn 4, so perhaps there's a little bit of pace in that TRT Ferrari. I'll have to see. Cameron Dow's just coming across the line to get started with his lap then. 106.501 is his current lap time, looking to try and improve, locking up in the front left, going through the left-hander of turn 1, but the car did definitely turn, had plenty of space going through turn 2 into turn 3, then down at the bottom of turn 4. Sector 1 split coming up here, 17.0 is what he'll be looking for, only a 17.3 is down in the first sector is Cameron Dowds, and he's going to have to keep pushing, and he is using overtake to try and make up the time he lost.
Yeah, many drivers are actually struggling on their final runs. Paul is coming to the right-hander now, turn number 8. He is on a run right now. Mubarak is purple in the middle sector, 50.5. He was down in the first sector by a tenth, and I thought he had no chance. Mubarak, that was flying, running now through the left-hander at turn 15. On the run to the line comes the TTM man. Is this pole position for him? Yes, it might be. 106.445. Silo on the run to the line. Goes quicker. 106.414. Cameron Dowd's lap time. Purple in the middle sector, but not even improving in the middle sector. Rayen to the line, goes fourth and stays in fourth at the minute. Paul now on the run to the line to try and improve. Goes third. Big final sector from him for ETA. Epic Vale on a lap time as well. Lafiti's going to be next up on the run to the line. Agonize, I think, is going to be next up behind him along with Gian. Lafiti there only manages 8. Agonizes Invalid. Gian now to try and upset the apple cart for Team TRT. We've got Epic Vale coming through only the first sector split, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on a lap time. Gian now coming through the final corner on the run to the line. Only manages 9. Epic Vale now coming to the right, the left-hand return number 12 at John South. 500 up. Gonna try now, absolutely floor it to the line. I don't think it's gonna be good enough. If anything, he's gonna be clear of Rayen potentially here for 5th. I don't think he's gonna try and upset the apple cart. Salo, Mubarak, Hall, Pearl, currently a top 3. Epic Vale manages 5th, gets ahead of Rayen in the end. But it is Silo for BRT, and on top. Cometh the hour, cometh the moment. You rely on BRT, you rely on Salo. He gets pole position here in qualifying. Mubarak there in second. Paul there in third. If it wasn't for that pesky meddling BRT, I would have had my prediction right.
Once again, top 5 separated by guess how much? 99 thousandths of a second. It seems to be a recurring number at the moment, but once again showing that the closeness of the competition between the teams remains even after we have our Christmas break. Well done to BRT. They needed that pole. Silo can now control the racing from the front as the zombie man will try and get Tech through.
Definitely so. Solo out on top from Mubarak there in second. Paul there in third. Cameron Dowds, I thought, was very unlucky there with his shoddy first sector. 3 tons down, still improved to 4th. What could have it been if he got the first sector right? Epic Vale there in 5th with Rayen in 6th. Phantom there in 7th. Lafiti there in 8th. Gian there in 9th. And then it's Agonized rounding off the top 10. BRT on top. But for how long? The race is going to be a completely different kettle of fish. We're going to play you our ads and our trailer. We'll be back with you on the other side of this break. Welcome back, everyone, to WOR Legacy Division. We are here tonight for round number 13. Unlucky for some in the championship. These are the standings coming into tonight. That is BRT out on top on 438 points. Team Chizou in second on 404. Eat8 in third on 386. CPI in fourth on 383. Looking at that front four and looking at the guys that were up there in qualifying, BRT were out on top. Cameron Dowd for Team Chizou was right up there. CPI were right up there as well. It's going to be a very interesting race here in Brazil.
Is the safety car on reduced, James? I think the safety car's on reduced, isn't it? Yeah, it's definitely on reduced. Yeah, it's a bit of it's a bit overcast out there, isn't it, at the moment as well? Is there a risk of rain potentially falling on the horizon? I wonder whether the drivers are electing to switch between soft and hard tyres at the moment. Anyway, strategy calls wise, could be a little bit of a mixed bag. Expecting a few set of medium tyres out there as well. Typically, the circuit doesn't have a high attrition when it comes to the tyres, so that could make for a little bit of a fun one. Keep a firm eye as well, of course, on the midfield runners. I think Uppbeat, Tech, Danny Van Ruyten are in an unfortunate position. Tech should have done better than P13. Uppbeat should have done better than P12. Danny almost certainly should have done better than P15, but his car wouldn't allow him to get back in after he disconnected. So I'm expecting we're going to have a little bit of a mad dash anywhere between P15 upwards as far as P5 going through the first couple of laps. Could make for a little fun time, I think.
It will definitely make for a very fun time of things as well. Danny Van Ruyten, by the way, has been given at least 3 invites by me, so if he can't join the session, then it's not my fault. Put it that way. We will try and get him back in, though, I'm sure, if he does disconnect once again. However, though, as you can see, it is overcast out on track. It might bring potentially more drivers on a set of mediums than on a set of hards early on.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you know when I said, is the grid definitely right?
Oh no.
It's wrong, and I think we may be in for another. I think we may be in for another restart here. World Online restarts back in form.
Just been confirmed by Luke. We are getting a restart. All of that build-up that we're about to do is now out the window. Now we have to waffle on for the next 10 minutes or so. Owen's just put in the Discord, just ban the French. That's a little bit harsh, to be honest. But
harsh, yeah.
Yeah, GT10, this is the first time, I think, hosting this season, if I'm not mistaken, in Legacy Division. It is Acid, the man to blame. So if you do want to send your threats and everything in DMs a little bit later on, after the stream,
Mateo,
you can do.
Ow.
Mateo, though, was put in.
That's brutal. That's brutal. He's Mateo just in the chat saying, oh, grid pens for GT10. That'll make a pound of a difference, bless them, unfortunately. Yeah, we're going to have a mass restart here, unfortunately, as the grid is completely wrong. I did call it, though, didn't I? So is the grid definitely 100% right? It wasn't.
I hope Silo knows what's going on. He can probably see half the field retiring behind him. But he's just taking turns 1, 2, and 3 absolutely fine. Oh, there we go.
There we go. I was going to say, he fixes him for an absolute crack over race, isn't he? But no, there we have. Oh, look at that. It's a TRT 1-2. Fantastic.
TRT 1-2. Will it last that way, potentially in the race? Who knows? But most drivers, just for the benefit, actually, of everyone, there were alternative strategies from the field. Quartz and Agonizer noticed there on a set of softs. There was a driver on a set of medium compound tyres. Everyone else was on a set of hards. And within the rules and regulations here in WOR Legacy Division, are they allowed to change that if it's a restart? Or do they have to stick to the tyres that they were going to be starting on in the first place? I think they have to start on the tyres that they were going to go with. So it means Quartz and Agonize are on a set of soft compound tyres, potentially.
I don't know, maybe some people, but I think people already called that this was going to be a restart, so perhaps people just went, oh, right, fair enough, and just skipped along. So we'll see. It don't matter. One normal evening of World is all Joseph asks now. It wouldn't be World if we didn't at least have one restart. It's going to be 2 now as it stands with this one. Well, maybe I'll get a 3rd as well. But you know what that makes for, though? What's disappointed me, James, is the fact that we may have had some rain in that particular lobby because it was a little bit overcast. There was a potential we could have seen some rain later in this race, but opportunity knocks. We may see another bit of rain again after this restart.
Yeah, Troy, who I believe is the engineer for CPI, mentioning that it was mixed conditions, so definitely going to be along the lines of that. We potentially could have got a little bit of rain. But now, because we have to do a restart, and because Acid's now in charge of the lobby, we now have to redo this all from scratch once again and set the custom weather and things like that, if that is within the rules and regulations. And if you do, it is a very fine, hard balance to try and find a really good thing that everyone can say, yeah, these are the conditions of the race. You cannot get the weather, unfortunately, and I'd love to see this in F125, you cannot get the weather 100% perfect with the options that are getting seen out there within the lobby and what we're given really to work with within the lobby. And that means we can either do mixed conditions. Say, for example, if it was dry for the first 5 slots and then rain for the last 2, then you have to try and work that maybe with 3 or 4 slots that we do get, and then try and work it with the custom grid and the custom weather and things like that. So, unfortunately, it's not 100% accurate, the weather conditions that we might get. Troy might have said, yeah, we might get mixed conditions. We could now get a situation where it's beautiful blue sky and sunshine, it's overcast midway through the race, and then it's rain by the end. You cannot 100% replicate the weather out on this game, which is a shame.
Yeah, no, it's impossible to really achieve such a target in this one as well. So just got confirmation you're on pole position as well, James. Good luck, mate.
Nice.
We're in for all we know, you will end up on pole at this rate. Yeah, waiting for this lobby to set up, which gives us an opportunity, I think, to reflect on that qualifying session, doesn't it, James? Because you know what? Again, it's another round of qualifying sessions where it's such a mixed bag. Any person, any team could really get on pole. Top 5 separated by 99 thousandths of a second, less than a tenth, separating the top 5. Granted, one of those being an ET8 man who has to, of course, has to serve his grid penalty. Regardless, it shows that anybody could really snatch pole on every thousandths count, and that is what World is all about, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely so, indeed. Looking through the chat as well, Liam mentioning that DVR, you mean the joint world champion of senior road tex karting? Yes, that's where I think I was getting a little bit confused earlier on. Danny Van Meijten is a 3-time karting champion in the Netherlands and indeed in Belgium. Luke Rapata is the PSGL PSF1 champion. Don't know how I got them two mixed up, to be honest. In terms
of a mix up, that one.
It's a massive mix-up. Judging by they've got both, well, very not similar names, as what I can definitely tell. But there we are. BRT out on top in terms of the standings, by the way. 438 points over Team Chazoo and 404 over ET8 in third on 386 and CPI in fourth on 383. Looking further down the field, Top Team Motorsport entirely out of this race as well. Very good, solid qualifying session from Mubarak and indeed from Rayen. It was on the old grid graphic that Mubarak had a 3-second penalty, but it was removed because he'd already served that, of course, in the Netherlands. And that was just a graphical glitch error that Luke Humphries had. And luckily, we managed to change that before we went live on the stream. TRT were in 6th on 216. Team TF10 in 7th on 202. FLT were 9th on 152. Novus in 9th on 76. Project Levisio there in 10th on 74. And then Grand Track 10 11th on 43 points. Big old delay, I've got to say. It should have just been the custom grid being set up. If this was NLR Ryan, it would have been done in a world record time of 1 minute and 20 seconds, like he normally does for PSGL and WOR console tier 1. But BRT, back to the standings, back to the racing very soon, but BRT out on top, had a very good qualifying with Silo, on pole position, ahead of Team Chazoo. It's going to be a rather interesting run down in towards turn 1, and whether or not BRT can hold that run in towards turn 1.
Yeah, just keep a very firm eye on the weather forecast, though, because, of course, with how these lobbies are being set up at the moment, they could be going through into turn 1 in a lava pool, then through turn 2 through a snowstorm. So we'll have to see how the lobby goes. But in all fairness, it is going to make for a little bit of a mixed bag. I'm expecting it to be fairly tidy through turn 1 from P1 down to P8. But I think, as I said, with those midfield drivers that shouldn't be in the midfield, I'm thinking the CPI drivers, I'm thinking tech. These drivers should really be pushing towards the front. So I think they're going to probably try and push as hard as they can for maybe 2 or 3 laps. Try and get towards the front and maximize the possibility. Of course, opportunity falls on Silo to really bunch up the pack and give Tech the best opportunity to climb up the standings and get BRT the big points that they need. Because, of course, in the championship hunt, they have been losing points left, right, and centre over the last few races. This Christmas break has given them an opportunity of a little bit of a reprieve, a little bit of a break. Can they extend their lead in the championship once again versus Team Chazoo, or is Cameron Dowds going to be putting that pressure alongside his teammates in the Alpine? Gabba, we'll have to see. Gabba hasn't had a good qualifying. Will he ever have a better race? He's known for it.
He is known for it indeed. The former NVR man, of course, has had a very good record actually around this track in terms of being up there in terms of qualifying, in terms of actually being on the podium, I believe, on one occasion around this track as well. So definitely going to be interesting to see. What is also interesting to see is I've just seen this on Facebook, Middlesbrough against Sunderland getting shown on ITV4 on Monday the 3rd of February. I'm very happy about that. Means I can actually get to watch free-to-air television rather than watch it on Sky Sports or listen to BBC Radio Newcastle. So there we are. That is an interesting little tidbit if you're a Sunderland supporter like me. And unfortunately, if you're not like a Leicester supporter, that our Joseph is, with how Ruud van Nistelrooy is getting on over there down south. It's been an absolute dire time there for the Leicester fans. But what I can definitely tell you is everyone has got sick of Acid playing a molly-culling game. We are about to get going. Everyone's now ready and up in the lobby. We are now 10 seconds away from getting going. Predict in the chat who you think is going to win this race here in Brazil. We are immediately getting into the race here, of course, in Brazil. Let us know in the comment section who you think is going to win. I'm immediately going to put myself on the line like I did with Mubarak in terms of qualifying and say Cameron Dowd is going to win this race.
Bold call. I think he has shown murmurings of potentially being towards the front of this race, so it'd be nice to see Team Shazoo take a race victory that they desperately need at the moment, because I don't think they're with a race victory this season, are they, Team Shazoo? So first time of asking after the break, they could be on there as well. Overcast conditions once again, and it looks a little bit darker actually, so is there rain on the horizon, I wonder? I'm putting my neck on the line to say TTM. I did say TTM would be a team that I think will bounce back after a bad run of form. This is an opportunity for that reprieve, and I think Mubarak and Rayan have got they've got the cojones to potentially be up there as well, so we'll say Mubarak for the win. Silo, though, will not make it easy.
He will not make it easy indeed. One of my first occasions, actually, of commentating on Silo, I'll be honest, but it's definitely looking very good. Packed out grandstands there, as you can see, within the glass screen on the left-hand side there through the pit box. About, 2 people within there? Mechanics there wearing shorts there on the right-hand side. Very, very minimal input, I've got to be honest there, from Cobos has been put in, because everyone's looking like they're wearing a pair of shorts in Brazil, and we all know what happens in Brazil. It's normally monsoon weather, normally rains. Whether or not we see that, those shorts are going to be coming off very, very soon, and they're definitely going to be putting a longer pair, maybe wellies, things like that on. And I've just clicked on as well, on the right-hand side, that the one in the middle, standing next to us on the camera, looks a little bit like Vladimir Putin, I'll be honest.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough. Nice to see him on the side of the of that particular circuit. Whilst you were just mentioning about Sunderland getting treatment from ITV, Sheffield Wednesday have just received that news as well. I've just had a quick look. As of 1 hour ago, they've got the Leeds United game on not this Sunday, next Sunday.
Ooh,
so
nice.
Sheffield Wednesday will also be on ITV as well. Thank you very much. Free-to-air television for the EFL. I've been desperate for that. That's certain. I'm looking forward to that one. As I'm looking forward to this race, drivers now looking at the strategy call as people are electing to move over to the hard tyres. We are seeing a couple of people potentially murmurings of soft tyres being on. GT10 are both elected to start their drivers on mediums, but Agonized and Brando at the moment are the drivers that are electing potentially to start on the soft tyres at the moment. Brando in the TF10 team for RB, and then Agonized, of course, it says ET8, but he's not ET8 anymore. He's FRT on the soft tyre in 9th.
Yeah, too lazy, I think, to change his gamer tag, is what he told me, I think, in another league. So I'm honestly not surprised. Why would you pay $4.99 to change your gamer tag when you can have an old one for absolute free and not even change it? I've had this one for a long time, I've got to be honest. But yeah, we should be about to get going very soon indeed. Looking through the chat as well, as Zixi saying, I want what you're on. I'm completely bored. I just want this race to start because I'm normally in my element when we see 20 cars diving it down in towards turn number 1. We are seeing mechanics idling about there on the right-hand side. We are seeing as well, what are we seeing? Very overcast conditions is what we are seeing. Packed out grandstands there on the run down and towards turn number 1. Here we go. The 5 red lights about to go out for the first race in 2025 of the Legacy Division. And it is lights out and away we go, and a very good stop by Salo. Mubarak will have the stronger run down in towards turn number 1, and the Swiss man gets the lead in towards turn number 1. Salo there on the inside and will try and fight back, backs out of it. Mubarak leads. Salo there in second. Cameron Dowd's under pressure from Rayen, who gets a really good run through the turn rest at turn number 3, running now down the Retro Poster in towards Decido Dolago at turn number 4. Salo was fighting back now at Mubarak in towards turn number 4. Locks up very late on the brakes. Mubarak forced out wide slightly. A little bit of contact there, I think, between Phantom and Lafiti getting through Salo okay. Mubarak and Salo are still fighting in towards turn number 6. Do not end up like 2009 around here. Cameron Dowd and Salo make contact. Forced off track there, the BRT man. Rayen in behind as well, along with Graffiti and Phantom. Very good start by Mubarak. He retakes the race lead. Everyone's on a set of hard compounded tyres, by the way, apart from Quartz, who's on a set of mediums further down the field. Mubarak leads the way. Salo in second. Rayen around the outside of turn number 10 at Jones, Beacon of Pato, even at turn number 10, tries to pull it off, can't find the way through. They're side by side in the background with Brando, Urpek, Tech and Thomas Seto all fighting out. At the end of lap 1, Mubarak will lead by 4 tenths per second. Salo in second, Cameron Dowd in third. There's trouble, and Elliott is out of the race, and that's a VSC.
Yeah, Tomasetto Elliott out of this race as well. Tech tumbled down the standings as well. Not sure exactly what happened with him, but he's now down in 18th place, down 6 positions as a result of some kind of collision. Whether it was with Tomasetto Elliott or not, I'm not sure, but virtual safety car now out. Danny Van Ruyten up 1 position, and Urpek not actually making any positions at the moment either. So actually, those that we'd expect towards the front not making good starts as it stands so far. But towards the front, great start from Mubarak, my favourite for the win. He gets the jump on Silo and manages to race him out to P1. Cameron Dowd did well to defend from Rayen. Rayen, though, just trying to defend now potentially from the likes of Lafitte, who gains a position on the FRT man of Phantom. Race control says DRS is enabled. We go green again in Brazil.
Oh, and I felt that was Phantom looking on the back of Lafitte there. He had a half look in towards turn number 7, had a really good run. Coming out of the corner under that VSC ending, nearly got Lafitte, didn't in the end. He's there in 6th position, key in there and some agonised there in 8th. But on settling down, Mubarak leads the way. Salo there in 2nd. Front 2 are pulling away from Cameron Dowd quite neatly, actually. 4.5 tenths coming in towards Juntao at turn 12. Mubarak is so good coming through there, but Salo now will get the run down in towards turn 1 on the back of him, and this is going to be like taking candy from Mubarak. Takes that turn in towards turn 1 ahead, and Salo now leads for BRT. Mubarak there in 2nd, Cameron Dowd in 3rd, Rayen there in 4th, Lafitte there in 5th position. Very good start by everyone. Most positions gained early on, by the way. Further down the field, Quartz gaining 6th, Gabor gaining 3. Most positions lost is Tech losing 6th. He might have had contact with Tomasetto earlier, that's why Tomasetto was out of the race. Acid has not lost a position, so I have a feeling it was Tech and Tomasetto who had contact, and that's why Tomasetto's out of the race and Tech has lost 5 positions.
Yeah, just trying to figure out on that one as well. Not sure what happened there. Joe Murphy in the Discord saying, hope Elliott enjoyed that
Cameron
race because
Dowd.
that was his last one. Cameron Dowd! Oh my goodness.
Very audacious move there by Cameron Dowd, but let's Rayen in, and now Mubarak is playing the team game for TTM. Looks the inside line, in towards turn number 10 at Beacon of Pato, hangs it all the way around the outside. He tried this last lap on the first lap, didn't work. He's now trying it again, this time for the inside of turn number 12, doesn't work. Cameron Dowd stays in 3rd, Rayen in 4th. But that was just the first inkling that you got from TTM pulling team tactics, which is good to see.
Yeah, Joe Murphy not happy with Tomasetto Elliott there as well, so I think it were a collision between Tech and the RB of Thomas. Thomas now out of this race. Epic Vale fastest lap of this race on the hard tyre. Of course, everyone on the hard tyre. Keep a firm eye through turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, then BRT Silo. I'm expecting probably will start now running this race a little bit here. Will Mubarak try and chase him down? He's in none, so I'm not expecting any kind of overtaking on this occasion as everyone now settles into the race. Lap 4, 36, 32 to go.
Salo just running out wide there, coming through turn number 4. Mubarak given a half chance coming up the hill, but actually Salo pulled away in the end. 3 tenths per second over Mubarak. Cameron Dowd's there in 3rd. Shoving the Swiss man there towards the right-hander at turn number 8. Cameron Dowd really wants to get on with things. This is a more aggressive Cameron Dowd I think we've seen in recent weeks, as Paul, I think, has just gone around the outside of Agonise at turn number 8. That's a mad move, but in the end, what else is a mad move is Agonise back at the inside line, making contact and then Epic Vale through. So Agonise now down in 10th, could be 11th very soon, because Urpek's right on the back of him as well. Big, costly train potentially now forming. Lafitte now on the back of Rayen up the hill, going to try and get the run on Rayen. Mubarak's going to get the race lead though, I think, off Silo. Pulls to the inside line. Is Cameron Dowd's going to be welcomed in as well? He's got to, because the overspeed is so much down towards turn number 1. Salo hangs it around the outside. Cameron Dowd's put to the inside curb. Nearly gets about contact. Nearly contact in the background between Rayen and Lafitte. Just about come out on top. Mubarak now leading the way. Cameron Dowd's trying again on the back of Salo. Salo might have to go for the move on the back of Mubarak. In the end, they all hammer and tong coming through turn number 4. And in the end, Mubarak holds sway in front.
Yeah, they're on the limit at the moment. Lafitte would be unfortunate now not to get that move done on Ray. He's burned through all of his ERS. Mistake for Cameron Dowds, though. Here comes Lafitte, gets the move done for P4. He's going to try and hold on around the outside. Will Cameron Dowds, will he keep on? He will try and hold on the inside. He'll have the outside and the permanent racing line squeezed off of the circuit. Lafitte stays in fifth.
And that was slight bit of contact between Silo and Cameron Dowds. That caused all of that. Silo made contact there. It's a really off-camber corner. Cameron Dowds was trying to go around the outside of him. Shouldn't have, really, in the end. Silo just slightly moved across the left-hand side, put him off on the little bump coming up on the outside of the track. Cameron Dowds there lost the position to Rayan as a result. So Silo, there in second position. Don't think he'll be in trouble with that. I think it's absolutely within the racing rules. But Silo now takes the race lead off the back of Mabak. Just got to be careful, though, especially from a Cameron Dowds perspective. If you want to try and go for a move, go around the outside line of turn number 6 is probably not the best idea. But as I said earlier on, before we went for another battle, this is a more aggressive Cameron Dowds that we have seen in the latter stages of 2024, now into the early stages of 2025. He likes to get his elbows out, which may necessarily not be a good trait for him, because he's normally quite clean.
Yeah, but at some point, Team Shizou need to take a race victory at some point this season. They've still without a race victory, despite the fact they're on 404 points as it stands so far. Oh, Mubarak just losing the front end ever so slightly, managing to hold on the curb. So TTM just trying to manage their own race now. They've got the opportunity for a big 1-2 here, but they need to make sure that Silo is of no threat as it stands so far. However, the Kick Sauber is doing very well to hold on to his pole position and take the race victory as it stands so far. Keep an eye out on Cameron Dowds, obviously losing that one position, now has to start battling with the likes of Rayen. But if anything, he's actually under a little bit more pressure from Lafitte, who is using overtake because he's having to defend from Guillen at the moment in the Ferrari. Around the outside line, will he be able to hold on? Cameron Dowds again struggling, going for the move down the inside, but Rayen holding on to P3 as it stands. Lafitte could still put him under pressure though. We've got 5th and 6th now in their own little battle. Mike, start putting pressure on 4th, you know.
It will definitely start putting pressure on 4th. Cameron Dowds was very quick down the straight. That is noticeable from a Team Shizou perspective. Looking very, very quick in terms of his setup down the straight. Through the corners is where he loses the time. That's where Rayen and Mubarak are really good, it seems, in terms of this middle sector. Coming out through the right-hand turn number 8. We see everyone knocking up there. The smoke, of course, not affecting as much as what we were back in the later stages of 2024 before the last patch update. Cameron Dowds there in 4th, though, just beginning to threaten that he's actually losing a little bit of time off the back of Rayen. It's 4/10 of a second now, the gap. Rayen there in 3rd is on the back of Mubarak. Mubarak is going to go for the move on Salo very, very shortly indeed. And this could mean TTM get a 1-2 out on track. They hold that, they hold everyone up, and then potentially Team Tactics could come into play, and that's exactly what's going to happen, because look what is going to happen here. Salo was absolutely a sitting duck. Rayen and Mubarak 1-2 for TTM. That's where you'd want to be if you're TTM.
Yeah, that's exactly what TTM wants to do now. They can permanently manage this race accordingly, keep boxing in Silo, potentially bring Cameron Dowds into this fight as well if they want to. Just keeping an eye out. I saw a bit of debris as well down in the midfield as well. Oh, going through into there's a little collision over here as well. They are really on the limit, aren't they? There's a little bit of debris being kicked up at turn number 4, turn number 5. Oh, hello, hello. Here comes Cameron Dowds. Wants to welcome himself in. Oh, late on the brakes, gets up on the rear and potentially touches the tyre of Rayen, but Cameron Dowds has invited himself into this battle up to P3. That debris, by the way, is a result of agonised as well down in P14. He's lost his front wing end plate. Here he goes down the inside as well. Silo, he was in P1 just a lap ago. He's off of the podium as it stands. He's P4.
And look at this. This is perfect for TTM, even though, I'll be honest, Team Tactics there did not work 100% according to plan. That's what led to, I think, to the contact between Cameron and Silo. Cameron there, forced it to the inside line through turn number 4. Silo in the end forced it back on him, maybe down even towards turn number 1. Cameron Dowds is right on the back, actually, of Rayen running in towards turn number 1. As is Silo, box him in is not what TTM are going to do. They're going to try and let him have the inside line, but it's the outside line that is so good. But in the end, Rayen makes a mistake. Mubarak, I think, causes a mistake. Rayen, not sure if he lost his right to end plate there. I think he's got away with it. But that was really strange. Mubarak looked like he had a bit of a snap. Rayen had a snap in front, and Silo and Cameron Dowds as a result having that battle. Rayen now right on the back of Silo, running up the hill and towards turn number 5. Somebody's forced off track in the background. That's a big Vale, I think, off track in the background. Mubarak leads the way. Silo in 2nd, Rayen there in 3rd. What on earth happened now, I do not know. What I think happened was Mubarak made a mistake and it had a Constantine effect.
Yeah, Constantine 100% in that one. Mubarak, though, now will be seeding, and TTM will be telling Mubarak, do that again. I dare ya. Oh, my goodness me.
Oh, my God. It's side by side by side. Turn 10. How on earth is Epic Vale going to go around there, around the outside of turn number 11? Never going to work through Magulio. He's been forced off track. This is now like the wacky races all over again here in Brazil. We're only a quarter of the way through the race. Epic Vale's lost a position to Brando. Danny Van Mouten getting in the mix as well. Lead of the race, not about to change, I don't think. The back leads the way. Solo in second, Rayen in third. You can tell it's a new year, as I mentioned earlier on. New teams, new legacies and all of that. And Mubarak currently leading the way. Silo in second, Rayen in third. You can tell these guys have been off for about 3 weeks because you can tell the racecraft is not 100%.
Yeah, it's a little bit shaky, a bit rusty perhaps as well, but here they are, the most daredevil group of Daffy drivers to ever whirl their wheels in the wacky races. They are flying around the circuit with the knocks and bruises all around the circuit at the moment. People losing front wing end plates, people losing a little bit of ego perhaps as well, but as it stands so far, BRT and Silo, best opportunity now to put TTM under pressure as a result of a mistake from Mubarak. If I was TTM here and Rayen is showing more pace, if they do get that position of 1-2 again, switch him round.
Apologies about the slight little break up there in the pictures. Not sure what was happening there. I think just everything got a little bit on top. But unlike normally, we're still going, which is good. Salo on the back of my back, running up the hill in towards turn number 1 once again. The BRT man will try and power past the back of the TTM man. Rayen could try and get in the mix as well. Maybe force the issue for TTM. You can't at the minute. My back leads the way. Salo in second, Rayen in third. Beginning to somewhat calm down. Dare I say famous last words, because Cameron Dowds is now on the back of Rayen. Rayen on the back of Salo. Salo on the back of Mubarak. Looks the inside line. And in the end, still can't find the way through. The BRT man is hassling the back of the Swissman. But at the minute, the Swissman holding sway. Mubarak leading the way from Salo. Rayen there in third. Cameron Dowds in fourth. How is Guillen, by the way, fifth in all of this? He's just came out of nowhere. How's he fourth in all of this? Because he goes to the inside line of Cameron Dowds. Really clean move. Tries to go all the way around the outside. He's in a very, very high second gear. Tries to now get it down to third. And in the end, doesn't manage that. There should be Cameron Dowds' move, and it is.
Yeah, Cameron Dowds there, I think, was caught a little bit napping. Didn't expect Guillen to go for the move, but in all fairness, the gap was there. And if Guillen, as we've seen already, made 2 positions already, he'll make a third if he fancies it. And Cameron Dowds will just be a bit wary that TRT have actually got a pretty quick driver in Guillen at the moment on lap 11 and lap 12 as they come across the line of 36 as we have a switch for positions at the front. Mubarak has lost the lead. Silo back in front.
Yep, Solo back in front, but I'll argue it's probably the worst position to be in, even at this stage of the race. Leading in P1, having that vulnerability, like in Saudi Arabia last night in PSGL, PSF1, having that vulnerability on the final lap of the race, being in front, that's where Solo is right now. You do not want to be leading going on to the final lap of the race, especially if it's as close as this, going on to the final lap later on. Mubarak, Rayen, Cameron Dowds, third and fourth. There are battles up and down the field. Urpek and Danny Van Mouten. CPI are going to be having a few words there because there was an aggressive fight between them both. Danny Van Mouten lunges to the inside line of Brando. Epic Vale a little bit too late on the brakes there as well. Urpek now tries to go back to the inside line into turn number 10. CPR will be having words there because there was a bit of contact in towards turn number 6. You're supposed to be teammates, not rivals.
Yeah, CPI were usually known for playing a bit of politics. They're not going to play politics with each other here. They'll be telling them to calm down. Danny Van Ruijten needs to try and hold off. He is now the first person, the recipient of a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Track excursions aloft, unfortunately, for the second McLaren, as he'll try and hold on to P10 and Urpek, keeping an eye out towards the front at the moment. Mubarak not keen to make any overtakes on Silo at the moment, so he's happy to stay in position here as Brando and Danny Van Ruijten getting into their own scrap once again around the outside of turn 1. Acid now with a 3-second time penalty. Unfortunately, we're kind of used to that at this point with Acid as well, as we think that's an infamous Imola race that he had. Going through into turn 4 though, Brando sticking behind Danny Van Ruijten, P11-12 respectively. Tech with the fastest lap.
GT10 are going to be having your head off by saying that. That was a little bit of shade throw there, Acid's way down in 15th position. But in the end, he is holding his own. He's got Quartz in front of him, his teammate. GT10 are working well together, 14th and 15th. A little bit off the pace as Acid, but they're in point-scoring positions. And why wouldn't you be at this stage? Of course, how this race has fallen. Gabor has fallen off the back there in 17th. His first race for Team Jazoo was an absolute dire one at the minute. Down in 17th, a man who was in title contention a couple of seasons ago in WOR Console Tier 1 for the championship is down in 17th, and Team Jazoo are only relying on the Flying Scotsman there in 4th. It's again their troubles that I think they've had this season, as we are going to get a double switch for the race lead as Mubarak and Rayen now consolidate that P1 and 2. Immediately, Team Tactic and blocking and boxing in towards turn number 1. Rayen now, is this a chance for Rayen to get away? Is Mubarak going to be forced to be the guinea pig here? Sardo there in 3rd, Cameron Dowds in 4th. Cameron Dowds now sending it on the back of Sardo in towards turn number 4 at the Cedar de Lago. Easy move for Cameron Dowds. In the end, Sarlo too early on the brakes. Let's Gian into the inside line through turn number 5, running up the hill and towards Farajura at turn number 6. Gian all the way around the outside. Silo has got damage. Right side end plate is gone.
Yeah, right, the side end plate has gone as well. That's disappointing. BRT might be losing points as their streak of bad form will continue at the moment. Lafitte will be happy to take P5 and take some good points, actually, for the Mercedes and for the Project Aversio Racing in Malta. And yeah, big this now for TTM. They made the right call, switching Rayen for and Mubarak around going into turn 1. Rayen is arguably the faster driver at the moment here. Mubarak will do well to just try and defend from the likes of Cameron Dowds. He'll be very happy to make positions where people lose out. We'll see, is Mubarak going to switch? They are going to switch on this occasion, perhaps because there's no threat from behind at the moment.
Salo was into the pit lane, and I have a feeling this could be to retire the car, actually. He'll go on to a set of medium compound tyres. It's whether or not a set of mediums can get, 20 laps to the end of the race. It's a front wing change for him. Vibrations are coming through my controller, so I'm just going to have them off the desk on the right-hand side.
Exactly what I do.
Quartz is going to be ahead of him coming out in the pit lane. Salo into the pit lane, though, is there coming out in P17, as I think Andrea was just past Acid down and towards turn number 4 as well. Mubarak there leading the way. Rayen in 2nd. Good news if you're a TTM fan right now, because you're all 1-2 at the minute. Bad news, you've got Cameron Dowds behind you, and you do not want that man behind you at all. That red flight flashing on the back, I think, indicates really that Cameron Dowds has got a lot of EOS. In fact, there's a lot of cars having that red fuel light flashing on the red light flashing even on the back of the car for the deployment of EOS. Mubarak and Rayen, 1st and 2nd. I think if I was Cameron Dowds, I wouldn't even get involved in this. Let everything go on in behind, because the Lafitte and Gian might have a battle down in towards turn 1. But if I'm Cameron Dowds, I'd be of no interest to this.
Always going for it.
Luckily, I'm not Cameron Dowds. Cameron
Dowds doesn't care. There's no rules for him. Oh, Mubarak losing the rear and has invited Gian into the mix.
And Lafitte and potentially Paul into the mix as well. Lafitte now side by side with Mubarak. That is beautiful for Cameron Dowds, beautiful for everyone else around. It's not so great news if you're a TTM fan, as I say. Team tactics are working well, but they're not working 100%. And Mubarak forced that mistake by himself, coming out of turn number 2. Really unfortunate. Lost 2 positions as a result. Cameron Dowds and Gian 2nd and 3rd. Mubarak there down into 4th. There's a very late move there, I think, from Phantom on the back of Paul. Looks to the inside line. Can't really see on the camera if he's got the move done. Epic Veil, though, to the inside line of turn number 9. Might just try and have his number around the outside now at turn number 10 at Beacon of Pato. Not normally you see him move around the outside here. Let's Danny Van Routen in, the 3-time karting champion in real life. He's on the back now.
Give it up.
In towards turn number 12. Danny Van Routen knows better than this to go around the outside of turn number 12. But I tell you what, if he gets this move, this is going to be a really good move. Hand of Rage now flying from Danny Van Routen. Epic Veil side by side. Rayen and Cameron Dowds swap for the race lead as well. And Danny Van Routen has got ahead of Epic Veil. Here comes Urpec to the inside line as well. The Italian looks to the inside line. Epic Veil, though, gets the move back done. Really nice battling between them both. Not too aggressive, not too hard. That is racing from my perspective anyways, and it's still going on because Epic Veil and Urpec are still side by side in towards turn number 4, but Epic Veil holds right.
Absolutely no ERS left in that car. I was calling Epic Veil not to continue with that one. There's going to be no space on that inside line in a weird turn of events, but he decided to try and hold on. Did a decent job, losing the rear ever so slightly. Tyres starting to fall off, I wonder, a little bit at the moment as well, which would be very early if the hard tyres are certainly starting to fall. The rear tyre not looking sharp at all for Epic Veil. Back towards the front, Gian putting a little bit of pressure on Rayen, but he's losing the rear ever so slightly as well. So Moba could be back into the mix here. Moba's having a bit of a shocker of a race here. A couple of mistakes nearly cost his teammate a position, nearly cost himself a good chunk of positions as Gian again losing the rear. I'm expecting surely we're going to be in for a new set of tyres imminently here. We have got the blue light on for the pit stop, which tells people they are in the pit window. But once again, people leaving it out a little bit late here. Rayan, is he going to go for the move against the Flying Scotsman into turn 1? No, he doesn't. He's no wiser than to go for that one. Mubarak gets that move done, though, perfectly through into turn 1 against Gian. That's what we know of Moba. Will he now hold on? Will Rayan go for the move going into turn 4? It doesn't look like it. No overtake being used on this occasion. Mubarak will stay to P3 as we've got a switch. Or Paul getting into the mix against Lafiti. Defended well on the inside low from EVE.
Fighting very aggressively, Lafiti and Paul there. Paul might try around the outside like Cameron Dowds tried to. Do you know what? This is a brilliant move. Paul around the outside of turn number 6 of Ferradura. That's what 2009 should have been. Paul Thuney's into 5th. Lafiti there in 6th. Danny Van Mouten there in 7th. Danny Van Mouten probably thinking, you know what? You can pull one off, I can pull one off better. And that's what he's going to try now aim on back of the German Lafiti. We still got that mixed conditions overhanging the race as well. With us being halfway through, whether or not we get to see any rain in the race is a different thing. But overcast conditions are still prevalent. The sun is now coming out on track, which makes me think if there's going to be any rain, it's going to be towards the end of the race. That black cloud off turn number 1 is very ominous.
Yeah, Gian is really struggling with the rear though at this point. I'm just going to call out something for Baz Bramer a little bit earlier on in the stream as well. Made a very good call as well. Nice to see you, Baz, by the way, former ETA man and manager. He's made a good call about strategy here. Who makes the undercut? Who's going to be the brave one to make the undercut? Because if you make that undercut perfectly, you could end up earning big time here. Well, TRT have decided to make the undercut, but not with Gian, with Andrea. Ooh. He's in the pits.
Epic Vale has left the session as well. I will very much try and throw him an invite over, but I don't think I have him on my friends list. Somebody has invited me to play. Thank you very much for inviting me to play, even though I am commentating right now. I'm just quickly having a look through. No, Gian. I don't have Epic Vale, sadly, on my friends list, so unfortunately, he can't get an invite off me.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on see if someone else can get him in this lobby. I'm not sure if that's going to be the right approach, but either way, Gian really struggling with that rear once again. He's losing time to Moba and actually inviting Paul into this mix here for P4 at the moment. You can see, you may be able to see, he's so hesitant to get on the throttle. He's lost all confidence in that Ferrari at the moment. I'm wondering if he's got more of a time trial set up on, because that rear tyres are absolutely burning. And there we are, he comes into the pit lane alongside Moba. No, Paul also getting in there as well alongside Phantom, who gets a jump on Urpec going into the pit lane, can you believe? And then they will go into the pits, and now fresh set of medium tyres are awaiting our drivers out on the field. Our brave soldiers will be leaving the pit lane with a fresh set of medium tyres. Will the undercut work a treat?
Am I right in thinking as well, you go on about the undercut there, is Brando going to be potentially in the net race lead here? Because he's now ahead of Mubarak coming out of the pit lane. Mubarak is technically a net P3 coming out the pit lane, because Silo side by side with them actually coming out the pit lane. Silo is ahead of Mubarak coming out of the pits. Gian and Tech are filtering in positions as well. So that undercut has really worked for Brando. He's only on 2-lap all the tyres as well compared to Silo. The only thing is, he's got Gabor right in front of him, and he was looking to the inside line there at turn number 6. Now through turn 7 and 8, he has to force this move. Gabor's got damage, right side end plate damage on that car. Brando gets the move done. Around the outside he goes, as does Silo. How do you like them apples? Really nice move there by Brando, and really good fighting by Silo as well. But Gabor has been a very, very much a nuisance out on track. He's like a pesky meddling kid in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, and fair play to Brando, though he needed to get that move done. He knew he couldn't lose any time to a bike marker, and no defense to Gabba on this one. But with that with that front wing damage, he just needed Brando needed to get the move done, because of course Gabba will be hoping to try and help and defend his teammate Cameron Dowes, who's now in the lead of this race, who's actually trying to overcut everyone. As Silo gets the jump, and Mubarak also gets the jump on Brando, and now they'll be leading from the front. Silo in the net lead of this race so far, unless the undercut works a treat here. I wonder. We'll see people leave the pit lane. Here's Rayan leaving the pit lane right now. Where is he going to come out?
Nice.
He comes out in front of Mubarak, but behind Silo in this one as well. But 6-lap old medium tyres, they are going to be absolutely worn beyond belief at the end of this race.
And am I right in thinking as well, and I'll ask you this question before everything kicks off, Cameron Dowd in the lead of the race right now, he's going to lose time, hand over fist. Could he potentially come out where Gabor, Paul, Tech is in that mid-pack in this battle?
Good call, actually. We'll have to see what happens as anyway, because his gap is about 18.4. Cameron Dowd will be absolutely bonkers not to pit. He's doing exactly that. going into the pit lane right now. It's going to be very close. I don't think he's going to hold on to the lead of this race here, and he might end up being somewhere in the region of around about Brando again if everything works out right with my maths. We'll have to see anyway. Has to be a blisteringly world record pit stop here from the Alpine pit crew. Fresh set immediate time. Oh, it's a front wing change for Cameron Dowds as well, so that's it. He will definitely not be in the lead of this race, and Alpine and Shazoo, I think that's probably it as regards of a potential race victory. They need one this season. They're not getting it tonight.
Cameron Dowds could come out in a little bit of clear air, though. I don't think he is, because he's coming out behind Acid, behind Agonize. This is absolutely dire for Cameron Dowds. I'm not sure where he picked up that front wing damage. It wasn't visible, certainly on our end. But Cameron Dowds had front wing damage, came into the pit lane, obviously enough to change the front wing, and he's now down in pretty much plumb last in this train. In P16, he is going to go for Acid, though, up the hill and towards turn number 6. He's going to try and get the move done. Maybe in towards turn 7 and 8. He has to get his elbows out because it's Cameron Dowds. He has to gain positions. The Team Jazoo now goes all the way around the outside on Acid. He's on much fresher tyres, which will definitely benefit towards the end of the race. He's just made Acid look very, very simple, actually. Coming through turn number 9 and 10. Cameron Dowds still needs into 15, back in the point-scoring positions. The tyres is what's going to concern me for everyone else later on in the race. Cameron Dowds on the fresh tyres out of everyone. That's going to be a big advantage for him.
Yeah, of course, remember, if you are new to Legacy Division, 40 points for the race victory, all the way down to 1 point for 15th. Top 15 scores points in this championship, and what a set of points haul it will be. 72 points will go in the form of TTM as it stands. Silo, with those wearing yellow striped tyres at the moment, tells me that TTM have got a little bit of an opportunity now to really close down and manage the race from their own point here, but never ever discredit the likes of Brando or Danny Van Ruyten, who's actually on a little bit of a charge at the moment for the team in CPI. Urpek a little bit further behind, separated by Gian and Paul. Yeah, this is a really bad situation, I'd have to say, for Team Shazoo here. They're going to lose points to ET8, they're going to lose points to TTM, they're going to lose points to CPI, and critically, they are going to lose points to BRT.
They are going to lose critically points to BRT as well. Brando's just lost position to Danny Van Ruyten, running through turn number 12 as well, to Danny through, and he's into 4th. He's on much fresher tyres as well. Danny Van Ruyten could be in play here for potential race win. The man who transferred PC, now back on console. Matteo mentioning in the Discord earlier on, saying that console drivers are a bit like F4 to Danny Van Ruyten. At the moment, Danny Van Ruyten is amongst these F4 guys, if that is the case, and Rayen is currently leading the way from Mubarak in 2nd, Solo in 3rd, and Danny Van Ruyten there in 4th. Danny, though, in all seriousness, very good driver. 3-time Carton champion in real life. Right on the back of Sado, right on the back of Mubarak. He's come up short before in championships. He is definitely not PSL, PSF1 champion, as I alluded to earlier on. But Danny Van Ruyten there in 4th, looking quick now. He's on the better tyres, and if there's any team that can pull off a miracle, it's CPI.
Yeah, 100%, and CPI are known for having that tenacity to just push through and suddenly out of nowhere get a podium or something. And at the moment, Danny Van Ruyten absolutely able to put the pressure on Silo with those worn tyres. Remember, though, that 3-second penalty lingering over Danny's head, and of course there were a few collisions earlier on in this race as well, so perhaps is there going to be some post-race penalties from the stewards as well to consider. So Danny at the moment just needs to find every second that they possibly can. Here comes DRS then, and he is going to go for it straight away. Is he also going to be looking at MOBA as well? I wonder. MOBA, they're going to box in, and the box has now been completely worked to treat here. Silo's not going to make any inroads whatsoever on the TTM boys, but he'll certainly allow for a bit more of an attack versus Danny Van Ruyten, who will really take Silo going through turn 2, turn 3. Is he also going to look for the move with 4 for 3, 2% DRS? I don't think so. Silo is going to fight back, though, going through turn 4. This is brilliant for TTM. If you're a TTM fan like me, this is going to be massive at the moment, as they're still going side by side, going through into the right-hander. Up the hill they will go. Off camber, Silo will lose the rear potentially. He holds on very well. Danny Van Ruyten still holding on for dear life around the outside line. Silo's got worn medium tyres. Remember, they're 10 laps old at this point. The traction isn't there, and Danny Van Ruyten will take the position and will now be in P3.
My God.
The differentiator with 7/10 of a second. Is he going to lose time to the front two?
Gian and Paul nearly getting involved in a bit of collision there through turn number 10, and now right on the back is Urpek. Urpek right on the back of, along with Phantom, on the back of Paul. Round the outside through the Zabina Lost boxes is very easy, to be honest, at turn 13 these days. Didn't used to be back in 2003 for Fernando Alonso. Phantom there in 7th, Paul there in 8th, Urpek there in 9th, and Urpek tries to go all the way around the outside of turn number 1. Very late on the brake by the German, but he got the car stopped and he got the move back done. Paul through and he's into 8th, Urpek there in 9th, Lafiti there in 10th. Watch out for the man in 11th though. Cameron Dowd is now clear of all of that traffic that he had in front of him. Whether or not he can close 4.4 seconds is a different thing. But with 10 laps, well, 11 laps to go, 10 laps of you being picky, Cameron Dowd's 4.4 seconds. Fresher tyres compared to everyone else out on track. Can he really gain that time before the end of the race? Judging by how TTM might do their team tactics, judging by how everyone's been fighting very aggressively in this race, I think that gap could come down very easy as there's contact between Guillen and I think it was Brando.
Yeah, Brando, he went for the dive gear and trying to find the space. He thought he had the space, collide and lost the rear, and has invited FRT's Phantom right back into the mix. Guillen's lost the position. He was losing the rear a lot during the hard tyre stint at the end. He's now started to lose it on the rear of the medium tyre stint as well. I'm wondering if he's overheating the tyres. Maybe an indication again. Is it a time trial setup at the moment as Danny Van Ruyten gets the move done on Rayan down the inside line. They're still banging wheels. Oh, he has to cut the corner. Does Rayan to avoid a collision, and he will now be relegated to P3. Moba will be told one of two things: help your teammate or seriously get a shift in because Danny's flying.
Danny is flying, and for a moment there, Sado was outside of a second to these front three as well. It's been brought back to 0.6 of a second, but he is in danger of losing that second and losing pretty much Brando, Phantom, Guillen, Paul, Urpek and Lafiti, all a chance potentially to get moves done and all potentially off the podium. There's a yellow flag and there's a VSC deployed out on track, and that is for Andrea, who has had a moment coming out of turn number 4. No, it's not Andrea even. He's got nothing. When it's Acid, it is the GT10 man of Acid. Yeah, he's got no front wing on the car. Completely turned that off. There is a VSC deployed out on track for the second time here tonight, all because of Acid. Good news, I think, if you're the front 10. Not so great news if you're Cameron Dowds and having that 4.5 second gap.
Well, good news if you're Silo as well, actually, because that allows him to recharge the batteries and potentially put a little bit of effort into defending, whilst at the same time not using his medium tyres, which are wearing thin with each passing second. He's using overtake, and the green flags are out straight away. Wow. So people were expecting that safety car to be very short, and it was very short. As a result of that one, people have been caught napping, as you rightfully point out. Silo, though, is really down on ERS at the moment as he tries to chase down Rayan. Rayan looking to try and get Danny Van Ruyten, or is it just going to allow them to race? At the end of the day, that 3-second penalty on the shoulders of Danny Van Ruyten. TTM may just say, oh, there's no point fighting him, he's going to lose it anyway.
Yeah, Guillen there down in 6th position, gaining the position over Phantom. Phantom really did not judge that VSC redeployment and then coming back into green flag racing. Judged that completely wrong. In the end, he lost position to Guillen very easily and very simply down in towards turn number 1. And now he's got Paul over his backside down in towards turn number 3 as well. Cameron Dowds, by the way, that gap was 3.8 seconds. It's 5.2. Cameron Dowds is at an absolute mare of a restart as well. Down 11, he was gaining time up until that point. Now he's gaining no time at all. He's got no chance, I think, to try and get back within this race. Rayan sets his sights on the back of Danny Van Ruyten as Mabak tries to escape up the road. Danny Van Ruyten, though, on the back of Mabak. Could he look for the move around the outside? TTM try the block on, but in the end, Mabak holds the lead. Danny Van Ruyten in second, Rayan there in third. Perfect opportunity. You've got Danny Van Ruyten sandwich, but if there's anybody that can get out of sandwich, it's Danny Van Ruyten, and he's now going to use all of that karting experience to good effect, running down the hill in towards turn number 4. Not going to work this time around, but Danny Van Ruyten has got to find somehow the disadvantage of TTM. Right now, it's advantage TTM.
Yeah, mistake from Paul, though, going through turn 4. He's lost a couple of positions against Urpek and Lafiti. Lafiti, the EVE man, looking to try and secure a top 10 position. He's had a good race, actually, as Lafiti. Really proud of him and EVE as well. He's needed a good race as well as Lafiti. But, oh, no, 10-second penalty for corner cutting and gaining a position. As I say that, that's one of the worst. One of the worst commentator's curses I've ever seen in my life. Apologies to Lafiti on that one. I'm sure that one will get rescinded. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed it will anyway. Urpek in 8th, and with Phantom, Guillen, Brando, Silo still on 14-lap holding on. But here comes the switch as Danny, and for the first time in this race so far, it is a switch of positions for the likes of CPI, who now lead this race, and with a back marker and the first of the lap cars, Epic Vale down in 19th.
Yeah, really good moves out on track going on there. Danny Van Ryten leading the way, back there in second, Rayen in third. The Fiti and Urpek still neither enough side by side running down the straight. In toward the left hand now, turn number 4. Doesn't get the move done in the end. Danny, though, leading the way, back in second. Rayen there in third. It's now advantage, you could call it, for CPI with Danny Van Ryten. But I said earlier on, there was a bit of a late lunge from in the background as well. I think it was Rayen actually nearly contacting the back of Mubarak, and Mubarak all of a sudden beginning to lose that rear and lose the time as well. Gap there, 7/10 of a second. If I was Danny Van Ryten, I'd floor it at this stage because Mubarak is looking weak as anything. He's not letting his teammate through. TTM need to swap the positions. Rayen needs to be swapped ahead of Mubarak for this to work. Mubarak, though, feels confident. He's put the call in, saying, right, I'm staying ahead. You can follow me in behind. But that now leaves, potentially, Rayen vulnerable to Silo in behind. This is all going to have a knock-on effect for the final 6 laps of the race. Danny Van Ryten leads the way. Mubarak in second, Rayen in third. I thought Danny Van Ryten there missed an opportunity because he is so quick coming through the first sector.
Yeah, he is really quick actually on the straights as well, is Danny Van Ryten as well, so this is why he's benefiting at the moment for being in front, because even with the DRS behind, I don't think people are able to keep up. Mubarak, though, 4th mistake in this race now that I'm counted. Big one, losing the rear. Going through turn number 10, and that allowed Rayen to close up the gap a little bit. I really think TTM should consider this here and switch him around. Rayen's pace would allow Mubarak to just carry him around the rest of the circuit. If Mubarak is carrying Rayen, and with the mistakes that he's making at the moment, MOBA could be in serious trouble and could cause TTM a big loss in points. Remember, as it stands, when those penalties are applied and Danny loses his race win as it stands so far, it is a big chunk of points in the form of 72 for TTM, and they need that at the moment, especially in that battle for the top 4.
And CPI obviously looking for 3rd position in the standings, and at the minute they've got at least one driver up there. Danny Van Ryten's penalty, though, whether or not it will be removable is a different thing. That is definitely overhanging the man in front right at this stage. We're on to lap 32 out of 36. Danny Van Ryten leads the way, Mubarak in second, Rayen in third, but I think there was a bit of contact there between Rayen and Mubarak again. Rayen wants Mubarak to get on with things. It's the first sector where Danny Van Ryten is so good, the middle sector not so much. But Rayen, I think TTM are missing the trick here. I think they need to let Rayen through because he's looking quicker than Mubarak. Mubarak running up the hill, though, comes back in the middle sector. The final sector, he looks weak compared to Rayen. If I was in TTM, and I'm not a TTM, I'm not affiliated with them in any stretch of the imagination, unlike the co-commentator alongside me, Rayen and they're in third. If I was him, if I was TTM, I'd swap the positions and let Rayen have a crack at Danny.
Oh, full clarity, by the way, I'm not actually affiliated with TTM, I just like the team. Rayen is so much quicker. Turn 10, again, another mistake from Mubarak, this time at the front, not gripping through turn 10. They've seriously got to consider switching the positions here now. I'll be really surprised if they're going to continue on with this one, because Rayen, if there is a risk that penalty could be removed, I'm not sure, there's nothing in the at the moment indicating that CPI are going to fight it, but if they decide to fight it, TTM could miss out on a 1-2 here. So if they want to get all bases covered, they really should consider overtaking Danny. We'll have to see. Will they switch Rayen over on lap 34 for a potential charge on 35, 36? I don't know. Be a late call. Remember, Danny is very fast on the straights.
Speaking of late calls, Urpek to the inside line. Very neat move there on Phantom in towards turn number 4. Really neatly done by the Italian. He's through and he's into 7th. Phantom there in 8th. Lafiti and Paul now beginning to drop off the pace as well. Cameron Downs is gaining on these guys, but he's not going to be close enough to the back of the front 8 at anyways. But Danny Van Ryten leads the way. JJ Simmons there asking in the chat, is Van Ryten's penalty removable? Someone who's been paying attention, let me know. Danny's penalty is a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. Whether he got forced off track in that is a different thing. If he got forced off track, maybe the penalty is removable. But if it's just a simple corner cut, probably not, as Mubarak's rear end is absolutely snapping out like a crocodile. Coming through the left-hand of turn number 12, Mubarak now has to try and move on the back of Danny. The thing is, they can swap the positions, but Mubarak is strong down the straight, and that's why I don't think they're swapping them.
He's stronger on the straights because Madani's got no DRS. He might be strong on a straight with a lower downforce setup, but look at that. He's pushing him around the circuit. You've just switched the positions now. It makes no sense for them to continue as they are because he's pushing him back into Silo. And Silo, on 19 lap old mediums, is still in 4th place and maybe experiencing a bit of a second wind on these medium tyres now.
Engineers right now for TTM are probably like, shut up, I don't know what you're talking about, commentators there. At the minute, lap 34 out of 36, halfway through actually lap 34. Danny Van Mountain leads the way, Mubarak in second, Rayen there in third. Remember, Danny and Rayen have got a lap fresher tyres over Mubarak. Mubarak looks like he's got 3 lap older tyres compared to everyone else around him at this stage. Danny, though, leading the way. That 3-second penalty, as I say, if it's removable, it's removable. If it's not, it's not. It looks like it's a corner cutting penalty, though, and that's why now, all of a sudden, Danny Van Mountain has got to have his tail between his legs, because Mubarak and Rayen are on the back of him, down in towards turn number 1. They do not want to go for this race lead, down in towards turn number 1. I'm going to even say, you might not even see Mubarak and Rayen attempt to move in towards turn number 1 on the final lap if they're still in the position that they are. But Rayen is so quick through the first sector. For the life of me, I do not know why they haven't switched the positions. They want... I can only think they want the 1-2, and they're playing for the 1-2. That's the only thing I can think.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be pushing at the moment, but just so FYI, by the way, at the moment, Danny has been really pushing his 30% ERS down on Mubarak and Rayen, and that's just likely because, of course, he is the leading car without DRS, who's having to naturally use more electrical energy in the hybrid V6 system to try and defend from the attacks of the likes of Mubarak and Rayen, and I'm expecting a big chunk of ERS to be used by all drivers as they head down the straight here. Will there be a defence here going into turn 1, or will they be going all the way to the end, I wonder? We'll see. Lap 35 of 36, lap 36 of 36 as soon as we come across the line. James, take it away. It's the last lap.
Oh, the final lap of the race, and now they... Oh, are they going to swap the positions? No, they're not. Rayen backs out, and Mubarak now, second and third. They want that 1-2. TTM, all of a sudden, this could backfire big time for TTM if they do not get this 1-2, and they are trusting in their strategies. They've got a new engineering team. I know that because Demizzi joined as head of engineering, and they've got a whole engineering team. They might be getting fired by the end of tonight if they don't get the 1-2. Danny Van Mountain leads the way. Mubarak there in second. Through the middle sector is where TTM are strong. We mentioned there within the chat, apparently with Mubarak's wings, Mubarak looks strong. Rayen's all over the back of him though. Rayen has got the stronger power and the stronger gusto to try and run. If Danny Van Mouten's out of 0.5 of a second coming out through Jun Sao, this is game over and Danny Van Mountain could potentially win this race. Now coming to the right-hander now, turn number 10. For the final time we will go. Look at that gap. 0.4 of a second. Mubarak, has he got enough within him to try and get this move? Danny Van Mountain, for me, I think he's got enough ERS to try and defend this. 5.5 tenths, it's over. Danny Van Mountain is surely going to win this race out on track. He's not going to win it on penalties, however. Danny Van Mountain has escaped the way up the road on the run toward the line. Will take the win out on track, but it is a TTM 1-2 in the end. It's Mubarak out on top from Rayen in second. 0.07 of a second covering the top 2. Seidel there in third. At the end of the day, but regardless of Danny Van Mouten's penalty, a 1-2 was a 1-2 at the end of the day, but they made it hard work. Much harder than what I anticipated.
Yeah, but Mubarak making a mistake going through Jun Chao, losing the rear again going through that corner, cost them any opportunity being able to attack Danny Van Mouten down the straight. If Danny ends up getting that penalty rescinded, TTM are going to be kicking themselves that they didn't make the switch. I really think they should have switched Rayen for Mubarak to try and defend from the potential that CPI will play the politics as they usually do to get that one removed. We'll have to see. Either way, I think they'll be happy nonetheless to say that they are, as it stands on circuit, a 1-2 victory for the TTM boys and 72 points heading their way.
I will try and get we'll get the podium celebrations, everything. Danny Van Mountain, driver of the day. What about the in-game fans? Apparently he is supporting Mercedes within the game. Not sure if that's right, to be honest, given how Lewis Hamilton's now left for Ferrari, but there we are. Danny Van Mountain, though, there are the podium celebrations, quick as a flash, coming up on your screen. From the Red Bull man, it's TTM 1-2. They made it, as I say, a lot harder than what we anticipated there. If Danny Van Mouten's penalty is removable, if it is, he will get the race win, and if that's accepted, he will get that race win as a result. We'll run you through, though, the race director, because I wanted to see where Danny Van Mountain picked up that penalty, and if it was just purely corner cutting on my end. He picked up
warning.
2 warnings lap 1, warning on lap 6, and a penalty and a warning on lap 12. So, Danny Van Mountain, that was it. That was the only warnings that he picked up. But in the end, it's Mubarak out on top, Rayen in second, Sado there in third, Brando there in fourth, with Urthek in fifth, Phantom there in 6th. Danny Van Meijten will probably stay 7th, given what we've just seen there. Guillen there in 8th. Cameron down in 9th. Feel sorry for him, really. Should have been a lot closer. Paul there in 10th. With Lafiti, Ports getting points for GT10, interestingly. Tech there down in 13th, Agonize in 14th, Andrea 15th, then Gabor 16th, who does steal the fastest lap of the race away from everyone. Lolo, Acid, Epic Veil, all finishing. Epic Veil in ghost mode, of course, and then Tomasetto out of the race with contact earlier on and ending himself out of the race. Fascinating one to begin off 2025. It was, in the end, TTM 1-2, but they made it a hell of a lot harder. And they should have realistically planned for more scenarios than just plan A.
Yeah, I think maybe they're just trying to keep their sort of options open a little bit. Of course, like I said, they've got a new engineering team now trying to manage their races a little bit more smoother than perhaps what they've had throughout this season. And to be fair to them, I think they saw the risk, they had a look at it and they went, it's probably higher risk for us to try and battle with Danny than them playing politics and trying to get the penalty removed. So we're going to call it here and just take the 1-2 after penalties. We'll have to see. And remember, of course, they had to work their way up. There may have been an incident or two that may see some post-race penalties be added, so we'll have to see. Either way, real mixed bag. Did say TTM would be back on it. Did say Mubarak could win the race as well, despite the fact that I don't think, actually, he was the fastest of the TTM lads. But nonetheless, it's a 1-2. Are they back? Are they going to be back in form? Are they on a late title charge, I wonder?
We will have to wait and see. Unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing them next week because we've got a break week because of some competition called F1 Sim Racing Championship that is going to be starting off next week, next Tuesday. So that is why I don't think we are running next week at least. 14th, though, 14th? Round 14, even, in 2 weeks' time, is going to be Miami. We are back sprinting once again. It's the 4th sprint race of the season that we will have. Miami is a track where famously we have seen so many things happen. Matteo, 4 wide down the straight and getting all 4 cars round the outside of turn number 10. Are we going to see that once again happen from Matteo's perspective or from anybody's perspective in Miami? Only time will tell. But Miami next in 2 weeks' time, Jota, is going to be a fascinating race given what we've seen in Brazil and what we could see in 2 weeks' time.
100%. I think if anything, it's going to be a test of whether Matteo can go for a quintuple overtake again on the likes of all the drivers around him, as he did, I think, last season, didn't he, in the same circuit at Miami. So are we going to see potentially more, champions going out there and doing ridiculous overtakes that you just don't see in racing, but they can conjure up and make happen? We'll have to see. It's a mixed bag. Bunga Racing Team, they lose ground once again, and this title charge is slowly but surely opening up.
It is slowly but surely opening up indeed. We have got the next set of races as well. Just after that, we've got Las Vegas, we've got Mexico. It's pretty much a North American 5-timer that we're getting now, right up until the February 25th. We have Mexico for round 16, and then Canada for the sprint for the 5th of the season, and then Texas for round 18. And then the final part of the season is Japan, Hungary, Britain, Austria, Italy, and Belgium. You'll notice a few break weeks in there, mostly for Sim Racing Championship, mostly for other events. Formula 1, of course, starting back up in March. Might try and clash. Of course, it's on Tuesday, so probably won't. But it will be F1 Sim Racing Championship that it clashes with. That's why we've moved the days, of course, out on track. But more action to come. Rens Thomason thought I was there on Friday. I might be there on Friday, to be honest, for Canada. Round 8 of the championship for WOR Console Tier 1. And judging by what we've seen this season, you've done a few races, I've done a few races as well for Console Tier 1. Judging by Canada, it should be a great race for those guys going hammer and tongs, out on track. Judging by what I've just said, it'll probably end up right.
We are expecting at least some point there to be a little bit of a mixed bag when it comes to the weather. I think, Canada being a sprint race as well, obviously offers an opportunity for the drivers to sort of have a shortened session, a shortened race weekend to try and push the maximum they can. So I am expecting potentially there to be some rain to fall at the likes of Canada. So we'll have to see. I'm expecting rain at Japan as well. Race number 19 of this 24 race season on March 11th before we go to Hungary, a couple of days before my birthday on round 20. So that'll be fun.
That will be fun indeed. More action to come as well from the PC side of things. I think this is the updated calendar. I might be wrong. Canada on the 13th of January, and then it's Austria on the 20th, and then Sao Paulo on the 27th of January. That is you kept up up to date with all things WOR. And for the final time, we are going to bid you farewell here in Legacy Division for tonight. It has been a fascinating race there in Brazil. We cannot wait to see you once again in 2 weeks' time in Miami in the Sunshine State of Florida. It is the Sunshine State, isn't it? I think it is.
Yeah, Florida. Yeah.
It is.
100%.
Sunshine State. I was questioning myself there by saying that statement. But yeah, Sunshine State in Florida. We will see you in Miami for 2 weeks' time. And of course, we'll see you in Miami when GTA decides to come out at the end of the year as well. But for myself, from Jota, please take care of yourselves. Please enjoy the week break that we have got. We will see you on January 21st for Miami, round 14 of the championship with the sprint racing edition. I've been James Head. He's been Jota. Please take care of yourselves. We will see you in 2 weeks' time. Until then, goodbye.